Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Ariel Helwani Show!
Back in your life on this Wednesday, November 5th, 2025. Hello again, everyone. I sure hope you're doing well. It's great to be here on a lovely Wednesday, a fall Wednesday. Fall Wednesday, but if I'm being honest, a nice fall Wednesday. You know, it's not that cold. It's actually pretty damn warm outside. It's nice. It's nice. What was that? What was that?
It was an accident.
Was it a woodpecker or something?
Yeah, let's just move past it. It was a very big accident. I'm sorry.
So I've been working hard on my posture around these parts. And now I realize, like, in the rehearsal, when we're framing things, Andy, like my posture, but then I just kind of go into a groove. So now I feel like there's too much headroom. You know what I mean? Okay, that's fine. That's fine. On-air mic's not working. Working through the kinks. Thumbs up to the chat. Thumbs up to the chat. Thumbs up. We got a lot to discuss. It's been another crazy 24 hours in the world of MMA. There's a lot to get into, a lot of new things since we last spoke. It's been a great week of shows. It's been an interesting week. Not the type of stuff that we usually talk about around these parts, but listen, different strokes, different folks. You gotta evolve with the times. Back into the program, Gable Steveson, who is coming off his big win at Dirty Boxing 7 days ago. No, it was 6. I just wanted to do that. Like, you know, the kids do these days. 6 days ago in Nashville. He'll join us to talk about, okay, now what's the next step? How far away are we from signing a big deal with a major promotion? It seems as though he has his sights set on the UFC. How far away are we from that? He's now had one MMA fight, one dirty boxing fight. Seems like we're not quite there just yet, but we'll talk to him about it. Prior to that, we'll talk to Michael Chandler. Michael Chandler, been in the news as of late. He's now a part of the second Roadhouse. Technically, it's the third house. The third house? No, it's the third one. It's the second. It's the sequel of the reboot. But it's almost like when we talk about the Alex Pereira Izzy Adesanya rivalry. It's like, did they fight 4 times or did they fight twice?
It's actually the 4th.
This is the 4th?
There was a Roadhouse 2.
Oh my God, wow.
There was Roadhouse 2, then there was the Roadhouse with Conor McGregor, and now there is a
new Roadhouse 2. And do you think that this Roadhouse 2, the one featuring the likes of Michael Chandler, Tyron Woodley, Wonderboy Tom, will be the reboot of the original Roadhouse 2?
Who's to check?
Not
That's where the accident came before.
It's a new one. Let me hear that from Bob.
Who's to check?
Yeah, that's right, Bob. That's right.
who could say it better than that?
That's right.
I don't know.
You're 100%
Who's to know?
right. You're 100%
Roadhouse remake.
No, but really, what is the premise of the second one? By the way,
wait, the original second one, or the second one that's coming?
second, and is there even was the original with Swayze? This had nothing to do with the Jake Gyllenhaal Conor one, right?
The character is based on that. Like that.
Oh, it is.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow. But there's no MMA. So what is he? He's like a boxer?
He's oh Jesus Christ.
The movie's only been out.
He's a bouncer.
40 years.
He's a bouncer at the bar.
So could there be a connection between new 2 and old 2? Or are they too far away?
The reason why you said 3 is because that second is not really like acknowledged. Like
is
Roadhouse
it straight to
2,
DVD?
Yeah, straight up. Roadhouse 2 is $1 bin at Walmart type material.
Do you think new Roadhouse 2?
Instant classic.
No.
Guaranteed.
Well, because this one went straight to Prime, which no knock. But do you think this will go like straight to VOD, like a hotel, pay-per-view?
Disrespectful.
Okay,
Disrespectful by you.
All right.
It's gonna be an all-time classic.
PT, what are they saying over there in Ireland about the Roadhouse 2?
About Fourth House?
Yeah. Third house, I think it was. Yeah, fourth house. Yeah,
now it's fourth.
Yeah, you're right.
I got a lot of texts actually. It's like
they rang you. People rang you.
Like, they've replaced Conor McGregor with all of his rivals. It would seem in this one. I wonder how he.
Did you guys hear about Habib getting at it?
Oh my God! Could you imagine?
Wait, Pete's face.
My favorite thing was when Pete says that he got a lot of calls about something. And I just
Yeah,
I have like this vision of PT just like answering a whole bunch of phone calls and like sitting back in his back garden, just like, you know.
It's not calls anymore. It's like WhatsApp voice messages have taken the place.
It's not
of the
the
phone
same.
Call. It's not. I don't have the chance to cut them off mid sentence. It upsets me. But actually, a lot of calls last night about the new fourth house.
Okay, good to know. Anyway,
how are you getting on over here? By the way, I mean,
we're all good.
Watching this show yesterday, it's gone very CSI, hasn't it? My God, I mean, what a situation we have.
A lot of calls about that.
A lot of calls about that too. Would you believe? We're going to keep them on background, but very intrigued to hear the latest developments.
Yes, and we have a Dana White interview with TMZ to react to as well. Lou DiBella is going to join us in studio. It's always a treat when Big Lou comes in studio. Hall of Fame boxing promoter and boxing executive. A lot to talk to him about regarding, hey, I want to ask him about this gambling thing, but also the Ali Act stuff, the Jake Paul Tank Davis stuff that he's been vocal about. A lot to get into with Lou, so it's going to be another fun day here on the program. Let's just rip the seal off regarding On the Nose, so this can officially, signal the start of On the Nose. Time now for everyone's favorite segment of the week. It is time.
It's time for On the Nose.
So I always debate, like, by mistake, usually when we do On the Nose on a Wednesday, I'll publish the post. I'll schedule the post to publish on a Tuesday so that it's a fresh, 18-hour, 19-hour, 20-hour stretch of questions, and not post it too early, because then I feel like the questions are a bit outdated if you post it on Monday for a Wednesday show. By mistake, on Monday, as I was scheduling it for Tuesday, by mistake, I published it on Monday. So there's, I think, some that are a little bit older, and then some people get mad at me when I don't go with the most. You could either like sort them via most recent, you could sort them via oldest, or you can sort them via most liked. And so right now I'm going to go with most liked, and if they seem outdated, then I'll switch it up. That was probably TMI for all of you, as they say in the business, but I just wanted to share all that because I was annoyed that I posted it early. Here's Sussy, who says, when Leon poked Bilal, you seem to think the fight was a foregone conclusion after seeing only one round of Leon winning. But for Aspinall, it's different. Also, you bring comparisons of eye pokes to NBA fouls like charges, but then you say DJ bringing up different sport isn't applicable. Make it make sense, Unk. All right, Sussy, let me explain this to you, all right? Real fast. Not all fights are the same. So, yes, a lot of MMA fights happen. They don't all actually play out the same way. You see, fight A and fight B can actually play out differently. And so when you ask me about the Leon fight, yeah, I say that he was winning that round. He was dominating that round. He was well en route. It was two different classes of fighter en route to a victory. Aspinall was not. He was not winning that fight. He was not winning that round. Gane was beating him. Two different fights. They're not the same fight. I don't know what else to tell you. They're not the same fight. So I still think I'm perfectly okay with both fights ending in a DQ, and the guy who did the poking loses the fight. I'm totally okay with that. Totally fine with me. They ran back the other one. Leon lost. That's all good. Totally okay with that. So you're not tripping me up on that one. Now, that still doesn't take away from Leon was winning that fight, and it still doesn't take away from Cyril was winning that fight. So in that regard, there is a similarity. Now, as far as the DJ thing is concerned, again, you're not tripping me up on anything. What I'm trying to tell you is, in every other sport under the sun, when someone does something that is deemed illegal in the rule books, there is always a ramification, a punishment. 15 yards, change of possession, ball goes, is going into the hoop, goaltend, you get the 2 points, etc., etc., etc. In our sport, there's a whole, discussion about intentional, unintentional. So what I'm trying to tell you, in all other sports, when there is an illegal foul called, there is an automatic punishment. Yes? Yes. DJ is talking about martial arts, and he's saying, look, when you throw a punch, in kickboxing or Muay Thai, you throw it like this. You don't throw it like this. Okay, but DJ, you're wearing closed fist gloves. And oh, by the way, DJ, You've never done it to anyone. You've literally never done that to anyone. So if you were able to figure it out and all these other fighters were able to figure it out, why are you offering excuses for people who are poking in the eye recklessly? I really think that this is all tomato, apples and oranges. Yeah, I understand that you do this when you're fighting in Muay Thai or kickboxing, but your gloves are closed. So if there's a rule that you can't poke someone in the eye and you're fighting in MMA, maybe you should keep your hands like this, or maybe you should just not do that. That's what I'm saying. He's talking about a different sport, the way an athlete in a different sport would use it. Yeah, of course. But there's something closing it, so it's a non-issue in that sport. In our sport, fingerless gloves. Anyway. Get me fired up about this nonsense. Steve Buscemi. Ariel, did you happen to see Ronda's comments about Joe Rogan, Khabib, and all of the above? See, this is one that I think was asked before we talked about it yesterday. But anyway, why is the chip on her shoulder so aggressive? Any thoughts? You know, I said that she came across as like misguided, misinformed. The truth is she comes across as bitter. And that's the bottom line, right? She is, for some reason, just bitter towards MMA. And I think she's just kind of like a bitter person, to be honest, because she has the same sentiments towards wrestling fans as well. And that ultimately is what's confusing about this. Why are you so bitter? You have had an amazing life. You told us when you came into MMA. By the way, do you remember what the sentiment was, guys, when she came into MMA? The sentiment was, U.S. Olympic team didn't pay me. They didn't treat us well, all that stuff. She was bitter about them too. Do you remember that? And then she comes to MMA and she makes all this money and then she becomes bitter about this. And then she goes to wrestling and everything's great. And then she becomes bitter about that. There's a bit of a theme here. And so I don't think MMA fans or Joe Rogan or anyone, Khabib, that has drawn her ire, including myself, should take it personally. It just seems like, I don't know. What else could you say other than she's a bitter person? You get what I mean, PT?
Yeah, I think you did a great job discussing it yesterday. And Chuck wrote a great column about it last week.
You did.
And, you know, one thing we were talking about in the crack last week, and Chuck was kind of like, is it that hard to say, like, I could have handled that situation better? Like, that's really all it is, right? Like, for Ronda, like, everything that happened, she could have handled the situation better. It's not everyone else's fault that she reacted to adversity in the way she did. Like, none of us did that. Like, the fan base, she was beloved. She was an absolute, the Trojan horse of women's MMA, as Chuck put it. Like, she was an absolute trailblazer, meteoric success. She was, compared to Tyson, given all the love in the world. If you don't give back to the fans want to hear from you. Like, UFC 196, Conor happens 4 months later, a completely opposite reaction to his first loss, and he gets lauded for it. Like, I think, honestly, that it's as simple as that. She should have handled the situation better, and I think by blaming the media and blaming the fans and blaming Joe Rogan and of course your lovely self, I think that's a lot easier for her to do than just say, like, yeah, I probably could have handled that better.
100% right. 100% right. Here's James Portland. Hey, Ariel, I'm in the camp of sports betting has ruined sports. Ruined is a harsh word, but you know what I mean? It's annoying when you're watching a great game with your friends, but one guy is pissed off because his 4-leg parlay didn't hit. It's true. I mean, it's kind of like watching sports with people who are so invested in fantasy. You know, like I'll be watching with my kids who are just sort of figuring out what fantasy is, and it's like, I don't know, Knicks Pacers, and they're like, oh yes, I'm happy Pascal Siakam got a 3-pointer. I'm like, no, you're not happy about that. We're Knicks fans here. Oh, but he's on my fantasy team. Who cares? Ultimately, who cares? What is going on here? And so, yes, all this stuff, to a degree, I can understand why it would be annoying. You just kind of have to not let it bother you or not watch with people who are so into it like that. I would also argue, like, to me, it's weird. You're watching the World Series, and before the first pitch, the announcer, Joe Davis, is like, here's our FanDuel parlay of the game. And I'm like, that just is weird to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't you think that's weird?
Yeah. My dad was saying he came over and watched the Super Bowl there a couple of years ago, and he was like, all of you guys, the game is on the screen and your face is in your mobile phone. Like, you're missing the game. Yeah. And I was like, that is such a great point.
It's true.
I think if you're gonna gamble in a group setting like that, all of you put money on the same thing. So you all know what it is. You can watch the game, and it's something simple. It's not like 18 lines of, like, Pascal Siakam gets 7 rebounds or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, just this guy to win or whatever. It just makes things a lot easier, and it kind of adds to the group element of it then. But you don't have to gamble to enjoy a game.
100%. No. Like, to me, this is just me. The anxiety, the stress, the happiness that I get out of watching my team play. And that's why I always say I have no interest in watching the Cardinals and the Jets play. You're different than me, PT. You love it.
Yeah.
I just want to watch the Bills, and that's enough for me. 3 hours of that is enough for me every week. Obviously, when you get to the playoffs and the Super Bowl, it's a little bit different, but give me my 3 hours and I'm good. I don't need to sit there for 12 hours. And the NBA is probably the only sports league where it's like, oh, yeah, like the Spurs are playing the Mavs and I've got nothing to do. I'm interested in that. I like that. I like watching, the players on those teams, etc. But I'm happy with the Knicks playing 82 times and just following that. I don't need more, and some people use gambling or fantasy as their sort of why, and like, oh, I need to partake in this to enjoy sports. But I say, like, the joy that I get out of following my favorite teams is enough for me. I don't need more than that. And I know not everyone is built the same, but that's why I don't ever feel compelled to do that stuff. I don't need that extra shot of adrenaline, that extra reason why. Speaking of gambling, guys, Dana White spoke to TMZ yesterday about this ongoing gambling story. Some interesting thoughts. He did as we expected him to do, which was distance themselves from it, and I think tried to position, whether true or not, the UFC as the ones who initiated the fire alarm to the FBI. He said that after the fight, he confirmed what we said right here on the program. They spoke to Isaac once the questionable and exaggerated gambling activity was coming out before the fight. Spoke to Isaac, spoke to his team. He said he spoke to his lawyer as well. Isaac assured them that nothing nefarious was going on, that he was 100% going in there to knock this guy out and all this stuff. Dana says he sees the fight, he watches it unfold, he immediately goes to the back, calls the FBI, and thus the investigation begins. Whether that happened or not, that's his word. We'll take his word for it. But as opposed to, the FBI getting these reports from this service that monitors this stuff and them initiating it, he kind of put the UFC at the forefront. Anyway, we have a snippet from the interview. Here it is.
There's no proof that he's done this yet, but I can tell you this: it doesn't look good. It definitely doesn't look good. We approached him before the fight, he and his lawyer, and they denied that anything, from everything. Are you hurt? Are you injured in any way? Do you owe people money? Have you been asked to do anything, illegal? We asked them all the questions, and everything was absolutely not, hell no. So the fight went on. And then, like I said, fight ended by finish in the first round, literally walked out from the octagon into my room in the back and called the FBI.
I don't really have any problems with anything that he said in that interview. What about you guys? Rick, what about you?
No, I thought he handled, like yesterday we were talking about on the show what you do if you're the UFC. This is exactly what you do. You distance yourself from this, right? Where the UFC is not involved in this. You explain what happened, which is that this was flagged. You follow the protocol. You ask the fighter. The fighter assures you nothing's going to happen. And then the fight happens, and it looks fishy. And the first thing Dana says that he did is called the FBI. So I don't think he could have explained that or handled it better if this was exactly how the protocol was followed. The only question I have is that the standard operating procedure, right? Is the standard operating procedure to go to the fighter themselves and interview them and ask them in this capacity? I guess the fact that he had his lawyer with him probably gives me some confidence in the credibility there, right? Because now somebody else is a party to it. But yeah, like this is exactly what you need to be doing if you're Dana White. We are not involved in this, and we are cooperating with the FBI in the investigation.
PT, one thing that he did say was, there's some tweets out there saying that the FBI is investigating hundreds of fights. I have not been able to confirm that, but he did say that is not true. And the other thing that I thought was interesting was that he said, like, hey, like he acknowledged that there are people coming out, fighters coming out saying, I've been approached. We talked about Vanessa Demopoulos. We talked about Vince Morales, Lando, even Edgar Chavez posting on social media. And we could get to that in a moment. And then the people that, I've talked about as well and others have as well. And he's like, why didn't you tell us? Like when you got approached, why didn't you tell us? Why didn't you tell the authorities even more so than us? Why didn't you run? And to me, it's like fighters, especially Pete, as you know them as well as I do, like questionable things are happening all day, every day. They're not going to go run tell the cops every single time someone walks up to them and says like, hey, would you be interested in this? Like imagine someone goes up to you in the gym and is like, hey, you want a shot of this testosterone? Let me go run and tell the cops right now. It's a little bit rich to then, in the aftermath be like, why didn't you tell us? Now you could be upset about it, be like, maybe you should not talk about it publicly like this because you're only going to get a phone call or something like that. But I don't think it's necessarily fair to say to his fighters like, hey, you should have run and told us or the feds when people are reaching out to you like this.
Yeah, could you imagine? A fighter having Dana's number and calling him every time something a bit weird happened in this fucking sport. I mean, it would happen all. Look, the hundreds of fights being investigated, I can understand where he's coming from in that position because I think in fairness, like, DC, Chiesa, other fights, we kind of know when something weird has happened. And I think from Dana's point of view, like, he's trying to protect the legitimacy of the sport. I think you guys did a great job of kind of breaking down how damaging this could be to the UFC, to MMA as a whole, if this is as bad as some people are speculating it is to be. But it does feel very big, this whole thing. And I don't know. I'm surprised Kash Patel wasn't sitting right there, the head of the FBI. I know he's been at events before, but I mean, it's just a really weird situation. And I heard you say this yesterday as well about feeling naive. That's how I feel at the moment because, like you, I've been doing this a very long time. I've been embedded in gyms. I have relationships with fighters over these. I've never heard of this in my life. Not to say I never thought it was going down, but I have never directly had someone say to me, "This is happening." And, based on everything we're hearing from you primarily over the last few days, like there are a number of people with these stories. Like even yesterday's show, you were getting text messages during the show. It's making me feel a bit out in the dark, to be honest.
And I want to also say this is not, in my opinion, a UFC problem. Obviously, something happened on Saturday, and obviously a lot of the fighters that have come out are UFC fighters. But like, this as easy as it is to get to a UFC fighter, it's just as easy to get to a fighter who works for another organization or fights for another organization. And we all remember that there was an issue with PFL fights that were taped and were still, available to be bet on, and that was a huge thing. And then PFL fights were, not available to be bet on for a period of time. And so the reason I bring that up is, someone reaches out to me and says like, oh yeah, take a look at this fight, and it wasn't a UFC fight. It was not a UFC fight. And so this is not like, people need to recognize, as we said on Monday, there is not any part of me that thinks that the UFC is doing this. Absolutely not. Dana is 100% right. Like, it's just absolutely insane to try to fix fights if you're a promoter. I mean, you're done. You're finished. Not only are you going to jail, your business is done, right? It just so
into regulation too, right? Like they spend so much time trying to be recognized.
No, there's just, they're worth hundreds of millions of dollars. These guys, like, there's no reason for it.
That's the best point. Consider the logic, right? We're talking about gambling. What kind of gamble would it be to risk $7.7 billion in rights fees on a few $1 million? Like, it just does not make sense. There would be, you'd have to be absolutely insane. You'd have to be self-sabotaging to be involved in this from a UFC perspective.
And so the only reason why I say it is, like, when we talk about this gambling problem, I think we need to call it like a gambling problem in the sport. It's very easy to reach out to a PFL fighter, an LFA fighter, a one championship fighter, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
This is the problem, though. The UFC benefits a great deal from being the primary fight provider of all of MMA, right? They benefit greatly from how many people they have on the roster, for how many fights they do, for how much activity they do. And there's a lot, oftentimes, that people say, instead of MMA, say the UFC. This is the downside. When things go shitty, this is what happens as well, right? This is the other edge of that sword, which is you benefit greatly from MMA being equal to UFC in most people's eyes. This is the days where it's not as good, right? Where we have a problem in the sport of MMA, but the casual person is going to be like, the UFC has a problem.
Yeah, it's Kleenex, it's Xerox, etc.
It's been there's been stories about boxing.
Oh,
for
yeah.
hundreds of years. You know what I mean? Like it's part of the fabric of the sport is how dirty it is. Like back in the day, it was regularly fixed. Like there was fixed fights a lot. To think that this is just a UFC thing is absolutely absurd. Like this is the same thing as you were explaining yesterday with the training facilities. Boxing gyms are like that as well. Like you can go to your local boxing gym, walk in, and there's probably like some kind of contender training in there. That's how it is in these sports.
There are
Yeah, this
literally
is a-
boxing gyms here in New York that have contenders training at them that you
Yeah,
can just
of
walk
course.
into and train at.
Well, as you're saying with this example of the boxers and the gyms, it's a fighter issue. It is not a
Yes.
promotional issue. A fighter could fight for the UFC and throw a fight there, and 2 months later be fighting in PFL and throw a fight there. It has nothing to do with the again, I'm hoping that it has nothing to do with the organizations, but it is much more likely that this is happening at that level and they are not involved. And as Dana White said, first thing he did, or again, this is his account, but first thing he did after that fight went off was he was on the phone with the FBI.
I do wonder why the FBI wouldn't have known before. Like if the service is being alerted of suspicious gambling activity, you would think that they'd be connected. It's curious to me that it's up to the UFC, the way he positions it, to then alert the FBI. You would think that, because like maybe a promoter doesn't want to alert the FBI. You would think that the independent entity would alert the FBI. But
Well, that also comes into play. Why is Dana White or the UFC team the one questioning Isaac Dulgarian? It just feels weird, right? Like, hey, are you going to fix a fight in my promotion? Is that and what's he supposed to say?
And
it's a very odd thing.
yes, and we did see the same thing with Eddie Hearn.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I still don't understand why they
Didn't pull it.
Yeah, like they said, okay, I'm gonna beat. But like, come on, man, look at the actual evidence. Look at the actual evidence. All of a sudden, a flurry of bets come in on a very specific result that is an absurd result if you just look at the two guys' history and their skill set, and it just pulled the damn fight.
The only part I would point to is we talk a lot about fighter rights and them, like he doesn't get his paycheck if he's not getting it based on reports, he's not getting his paycheck anyway. But if Isaac is not involved in anything and you tell him you're not fighting because I noticed this thing, it would be understandable, but it would also be contrary to the idea of like these fighters have to make the money and we have to give them the opportunity to do it. So it's a tricky situation. I ultimately, if I was in his shoes, if I was Dana White, I probably would not have let him fight because of the potential liability and risk and just said, hey, we'll take care of you, we'll pay you anyway. But it's a dangerous dance. That's why I'm saying it shouldn't be Dana White making that call. Like it should be somebody else. It should not be the promotion themselves.
Do we think Mark Montoya should have done something?
No. That's
He
not
backs
his job.
guy. He's backing his guy. Yeah.
He has to trust. He said it to you on the show. He has to trust that fighter, and that fighter has to trust him. That relationship, that thing, is the most important part of being somebody's coach or being in the trenches with somebody. If that person is lying to your face, that's a situation you have to assess on the other side of it. But you have to take their word, otherwise, how could you go to battle together? If this guy is the one that you have to rely on to be in there and represent your team or on the other side of the coin, your coach is the one that you have to rely on. That honor, that truth, that transparency is the most important thing. So I personally would not put that responsibility on Montoya, just from the perspective that if Isaac tells him something, he has to trust it by nature. That is his job, to trust it. The same way we talk about like throwing in the towel or not. If a fighter comes to you and says, I don't want you to throw in the towel, you have to accept that, right? You have to go, like, this is your team. You guys have established the rules here. And so I don't fault Mark in that scenario.
The other thing in all of this is it's like this one makes your head spin. How did this all start? This started 3 years ago with Derek Minner and James Krause and Jeff Molina, right? And now you start digging more and more and more. And who found Isaac Dulgarian many years ago? It's James Krause. James Krause is banned from the sport. Dulgarian goes to Factory X. Mark Montoya has a longstanding relationship, or did, with James Krause. Every single one of the fighters that has spoken up and retracted are Iridium fighters, managed by Jason House. James Krause, managed by Jason House. Dulgarian, managed by Jason House. And people are starting to bring this up and ask questions regarding that. Why does it seem to be... Jeff Molina was another Jason House manager. Now, I reached out to Iridium's PR and asked if they would provide a statement to these questions, accusations, if you want to call them that, and or if he wanted to come on the show and talk about it, which obviously would be the most ideal scenario, and they declined to comment. But there's a lot of like, item A, B, C, D, E, F that are all interconnected, it seems. And I'm not trying to imply that he had anything to do with it or that there's something going on there, but you can't ignore it. You can't ignore the common thread between all of these public, I don't know what we want to call them, confessions, not confession, I don't know what it is, but also these stories dating back to 2022 and who they were all connected to. So yeah, a very interesting story, and I'm very curious to see how it all plays out. Dana did confirm that the FBI is investigating it, obviously, because he said that he alerted them, and he did also say in that interview that I think he said like 7 FBI agents were at the office yesterday, Tuesday, unless that interview was done Monday. But whenever he was doing the interview, he said earlier today there were 7 FBI agents. That's wild stuff, and not the best kind of stuff to be dealing with as you enter into a new TV partnership, and with the White House card looming in the background and whatnot. I don't think any of this puts any of that at risk, but it's just not the right kind of PR that you want.
Andrew Feldman posted a clip on Twitter from after the UFC 282 press conference, and Dana addressing it, basically just like, there's an investigation going on. I don't know anything. They're not going to tell me anything. We're just going to see how it plays out. And like, ultimately, we get to the point now where it feels like nothing really came from that other than a couple of suspensions and a couple guys out of the sport. For now,
yeah,
for now,
it's still ongoing. It's
correct,
still ongoing.
Correct. If you guys had to predict, like, do you think more comes from this one? This one feels like there's more eyes on it, but I don't know if it's just because it's fresh. Like, it's like a wave of, it just happened this past week, so that's why it feels like it's so forefront. Does a massive card happen, and then we just kind of start forgetting about it, and then time goes on, and then we just start forgetting about it, and then we're 3 months down the line, and it's like, whatever happened to Isaac Dolgarian? I don't know. I haven't heard from him. Oh, he's fighting on an FAC card this weekend or something.
Sometimes it goes down that way. If Jack Della knocks out Islam, next week, like how old does the Tom Aspinall eye poke story feel now? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And how old is it going to feel the Monday after 322? And then by the time Ilya fights Patty, hopefully in January, how old is all? Yeah, so
and we're all on Paramount Plus at that point. And you had a month off from the sport, and it's just like, yeah, like what? In 2-3 months, what does it feel like for this?
And the truth is, the interesting thing about media, like so Pablo Torre is getting a lot of attention right now for all the work that he's doing, looking into the LA Clippers, and prior to that, Bill Belichick has a great podcast called Pablo Torre Finds Out. If you don't know about it, you probably do if you're a sports fan. I mean, even Pizzi over in Europe, you know who Pablo is, right?
Rick put me onto him, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, and that's a byproduct of how big those sports are. I don't think there's anyone looking at MMA, from a 10,000 foot view. I think that, you'll have your odd Dana White on 60 Minutes interview and stuff like that, but I don't know if anyone's like sinking their teeth on a national level into this stuff. And so, it ends up almost being us. And that's why, when guys like Ant are like, oh, the MMA media this and the MMA media that, like, there's a lot to freaking cover. There's just a lot to cover. And you're tasking people who are covering the day-to-day and the week-to-week of the sport with also the big picture stuff, and it's just hard to do both. You're a human being. So there's all to say, there's no Pablo Torres looking at this story, at least to the best of my knowledge, not right now.
I'm waiting for that text from like a friend who isn't into MMA but like is kind of into sports, or like a mom or dad that keeps up on the news. Like, I'm waiting for like someone outside of this space to be like, what's going on with this?
Has it happened yet?
It has not happened to me.
Yeah.
And yesterday I was with someone, work comes up, and we're just like kind of chit-chatting about work, and like they essentially just know Conor McGregor, and I was just like, man, like that is just like tip of the iceberg type stuff.
Yep, 100%.
It's is it not imperative though to give us some closure on this? Just to GC's point, like, it is a good point. The James Krause thing, as much as we know it's still active, we haven't got a lot of information on it, and now this happens while that's still ongoing. Is it not imperative from the UFC's point of view to get an update on this, to to give some closure to the fan base, because as we said, like it's the legitimacy of the sport, and namely the UFC, that will be called into question because of this.
I think the UFC and Dana White in particular handle it like the way they handle judging or refereeing stuff is like, this is not us. This has nothing to do with us. You know,
and they probably should. You know, they
Yeah.
probably should. In fairness, you know.
Not great times. By the way, guys, speaking of not great times, UFC legend BJ Penn arrested for the 6th time in 6 months. This is not. I mean, this is just. It's heartbreaking stuff. There's the latest mugshot. This is from uncrowned.com. Former UFC 2 division champion BJ Penn was once again arrested Tuesday afternoon following an alleged assault in Hilo, Hawaii. Penn has now been arrested 6 times since Memorial Day weekend. Penn is being charged with 3rd-degree assault after allegedly punching and kicking a man at a residence in the early morning hours of Tuesday. In a statement released Wednesday, Hawaii police said they responded to the scene at 1 a.m. after the alleged victim was able to leave the area and contact police. The victim later sought medical treatment for his injuries at a nearby hospital, and Penn was arrested without incident the following afternoon. Penn's bail was set for $1,000, which the UFC Hall of Famer posted. His court date is scheduled for December 2nd. So, not good stuff. Latest incident continues a troubling year for Penn, who's been arrested 5 prior times by Hawaii police since late May in relation to an ongoing dispute with his 79-year-old mother, in which Penn claims that his family has been murdered and replaced with imposters. Penn currently faces multiple criminal charges from these series of incidents, including abuse of a family member, refusing to comply with a police officer, and violating a restraining order. So, troubling stuff, very troubling stuff regarding BJ Penn. The other story that is ongoing, guys, is the search for Jake Paul's next opponent after the fight against Tank Davis was canceled. Yesterday, Nate Diaz tweeted something to the effect of, fight accepted, you're dead. And people ran with this as being some sort of announcement. But I understand that there is no fight. He was definitely someone that has been considered and discussed, but there's no offer, nothing's set in stone. There's no fight, and I don't think he's the front runner right now, for whatever reason. I know that they're still trying to make a fight happen in mid to late-ish December, but I don't know if he is the top dog at this point. So
who is?
Wanted to shine some light on that. I mean, I think that they're considering a few. I mean, honestly, the vast majority of the names have been reported already. Are the same names that I'm hearing. Francis, Nate. Who else came out? Terrence came out. There was another one. Oh, Ryan Garcia came out as well. Like those are all real things. Oscar talked about it and all that. So I'm curious which rabbit they're going to pull out of their hat. And we're going to talk about this with Lou. But the takes on this is so interesting to me, because the vast majority of the people online are saying that this has nothing to do with morals. It's all about economics. The only reason why they pulled this fight is because it wasn't selling well. And that part is a fact. The fact that, you can go online and see the blue dots is a fact, 100%. But to suggest that is the only reason, and that what happened with Gervonta Davis, the allegations, the lawsuit, have nothing to do with it, is crazy. And I could just break it down like this. What do we think the gate was going to be for this card? 2 million, 3 million, 4 million? Is it going to be more than that? I don't think so. In Miami, let's say 6 million, just for the sake of it. Now, how much money do you think that MVP was getting from Netflix to put on this one-off event? They don't have a long-term deal with Netflix. It's not a 7-year, $7.7 billion deal or anything like this. But these one-offs, they're costing a pretty penny. They're earning a pretty penny. Just ask, TKO and Turkey, like they got a lot of money for that deal to put on Canelo Crawford. Ask Jake and Tyson. Ask Katie and Amanda. Not all of them the same, but what I'm asking you to consider is Do you think the gate was going to be more than the Netflix money? Of course not. The Netflix money is way more. Multiples of 2, 3, 4. And so even if they had to paper the entire arena, it would still be worth it. You're talking $2 million in gate revenue. That's the only thing that was at play here. The rest, all the Netflix money, all the advertising, all the stuff, the sponsorship that's attached to the event. You think they're going to pull the plug on a Netflix card because of poor ticket sales? Netflix already agreed to do the fight. They have the pick of the litter. They're involved in this process. We don't like this, we don't like that. So they were already in. So whether or not it's in an arena that is completely papered, there's not a single ticket bought for the event, or a sold out AT&T stadium, doesn't really matter to them. One has nothing to do with the other. And so I think you just have to think about the economics of all of this. Is it a fact that those tickets weren't selling? Absolutely. But I think that they would have moved ahead with it, dropped the ticket prices, paper, whatever it is, and still made out like bandits because of the Netflix fees attached to putting on these massive events. We'll talk to Lou DiBella about this. He's coming up. Christoph, Guten Tag, Ariel. Just my 2 cents on the discussion about fight placements during the night. That usually pops up in regards to Bo Nickel. Not everyone is watching from start to finish. Maybe you meet up for just the main card. Or, for example, in Germany, UFC is on DAZN. They only stream the main card unless someone from the German, Austrian, Swiss region is on the prelims. I believe the best fights should be on the main card. However, people will always find a reason to complain, so maybe just a different perspective on that discussion. Thanks for the content, Christoph. I get that. But ultimately, I don't think it's that big of a deal. Oh, Irish lad. Ariel, I think I have to call out some bias this week. You say slap fighting is the dumbest sport in the world, and you're not wrong, but then you'll do a doc on Fight Circus. Guys fighting while drinking beer, equally stupid in my opinion. My point being, I believe if slap was promoted by anyone other than Dana, you wouldn't feel so strongly about it. Thoughts? First of all, you have no idea what our Fight Circus thing is. I'm not promoting Fight Circus. I want to know what it is. And by the way, I would do a slap one easily.
It'd be great.
Yeah, I would do it easily. I would do it tomorrow.
Don't think Fight Circus is putting people at such no defense danger as slap is.
No, I think people will be surprised once the Fight Circus thing comes out.
Is that what the next one is?
No, I don't know what they're talking about.
Who's to check?
Yeah, that's right. Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Bob. This is a great one. This is a great one.
Also, dropping a "you'd be surprised" in there. I mean, this is all coming together here.
I just think one has nothing to do with the other. And by the way, just because I think it's dumb, it doesn't mean I don't want to cover it. And it's like, man, the BKFC thing is like, you put out a BKFC puff piece. There was hardly any commentary from me on that piece. I was giving you my eyes and ears, like what I saw and experienced. That's what it was. I can't alter Mike Perry looking the way he did afterwards, or Jeremy Stevens looking the way he did afterwards. I wasn't there to do a 60 minutes piece on the state of BKFC. It was, what is this? Who are these people on this particular night, this particular card in Newark, New Jersey? And that's that. And so, by the way, if they want to have us at a slap fight, I would go tomorrow and ask these guys, okay, so what is this, and why are you doing it, and how do you feel about it, and what's the pay, and let's find out.
And why are you weighing in? Most importantly.
Oh yeah, and how do you prepare?
Right.
And how do you prepare? Like, do you do any preparations? Do you do any training for it?
That would be the best one. That would be amazing. I think you should look into that.
Measuring cocaine intake for all the failed drug tests as well. Like that, it would be.
Speaking of which.
Oh, really?
Ariel,
all right.
No. Firstly, I want to say big well done on the BKFC film. I really enjoyed seeing it from a different vantage point with Uncrowned Films now off and running. Could we see the return of your walk and talks, a la Jones, Eddie, Connor from back in the day? Absolutely. 1,000%. Casey was the one that shot him. Given your newish found affinity for Nottingham, I would love to see a film on Team Roughhouse. You could even end it with a trip to Forest, or maybe even a debate with Flat Earth Frotch whilst in Nottingham.
Hey, Carl.
That would be cool.
Good to see you.
Also, on Forest, there's a pub named after their new gaffer, Sean Deitch, not far from me, the Royal Deitch. It's named after Sean Deitch, PT?
I don't know about that, but I mean, we'll take it.
About an hour away from Manchester. Surely it would be rude for you to not have a pint in there if you ever...
Is it in Burnley, his old team? Did they just put one there?
Yeah, I don't know. Where is Burnley, by the way?
Somewhere around there. You know.
Cheers, lad. And Frank, why have you stopped uploading OTN as a separate video? Slacking, lad.
Wow.
Oh man, it's a good question.
They exposed you, Frank.
They certainly did.
Certainly?
Yeah, let's start making
Certainly
fun
did,
of people.
bro.
I developed a speech impediment this morning, and this is not a healthy workplace.
Ultimately,
I think we broke Ariel.
Yeah, Ariel's doing
I'm sure
something else.
I'm trying to read the other ones.
He's reading some other.
Oh, I love this guy, Kyle Grant. Do you guys remember Kyle Grant? He was on his way to Game 6 of the ALCS, then gave us the update afterwards.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, Kyle says, fellas, World Series Game 7 update for you. My wife and I went to the game with standing room only tickets. Got in the ballpark when it opened 3 hours before the first pitch. Got a good spot on the 100 level near the right field foul pole. Stood in that same spot for the next 8 hours. I'm happy to say I attended a World Series Game 7. It was truly a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. However, I'm absolutely heartbroken. We dominated all game long, but kept falling short of adding out runs. We let the Dodgers keep hanging around and then gave up the lead when we were 4 strikes away from winning the World Series. Still devastated. PT, I know you don't understand baseball, but this game was truly baseball's version of Anderson Silva versus Chael Sonnen, with the Blue Jays snatching defeat from the jaws of victory. It's actually a great analogy. I now truly understand when Ariel talks about the Buffalo Bills losses, when GC talks about the Falcons Super Bowl loss to the Patriots, when Rick gets upset about nobody agreeing with his Ronda Rousey comeback of the year take. No question this week, just to thank you for the work you all do, loving everything uncrowned. Keep up the great work.
We're going to get a redo on that one, buddy. Don't worry. Hang in there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
it's coming.
You're about
It's coming. 2026.
We're going to get a part 2, baby.
This is going to be one of the great comebacks of all time. This actually being a relevant
He's going to
award
have
winner.
Ronda Rousey as 2026 comeback fighter of the year, and I'm going to have New York Rick's 2016 comeback of the year take as my comeback fighter of the
It's
year.
going to be amazing. The vibe.
Most improved, maybe? You know, who knows? We'll see.
Oh, yeah. Most improved.
Maybe both.
Maybe both.
Most improved fighter comeback of the year. Is she's gonna?
No, I meant my take, but also
that too,
Ronda
that
as
too,
well. Yeah.
That too.
Performance of the year as well.
By the way, did anyone hear my guy Mad Dog Russo and his take? You guys kind of ignored it in the chat.
Did not.
Oh, shit. I wanted to watch it. I was like, I saw it.
I mean, he literally said verbatim, word for word, what I said about Joe Davis hosting the parade. Like, literally said it word for word, verbatim, what I said. This is unbelievable.
Let me just say, without giving away too much about myself, when you have the same take as Mad Dog,
Yeah. No, I felt good. I
Now
felt
where you
look
want it.
inward.
I felt
look
vindicated.
inward when you have the same take
I
as
felt
Mad.
vindicated.
Yeah.
By the way, yesterday I had a great night. I went to see some students over at the Newhouse building here in New York
Yeah,
City.
so the hat, man.
Yeah.
Sick.
I was talking to the youth of our country. Actually, the future. I was talking to some students who were juniors, seniors, and we were talking a lot about social media and journalism. It reinvigorated me. Great students. Thank you very much to them. Thank you to my old new friend Cheryl for inviting me. She said she knew me back in school. I was like, I didn't, but I also didn't. I didn't talk to anyone. I was just like,
Amen.
it was amazing. So I'm very happy to be reconnected with my alma mater. Go Qs. And yes, it really did warm my heart.
Hoop starting soon?
It started already, Monday.
All right, let's
yeah,
go.
Kion, 15 points in his debut.
Oh, wow. You're tapped in. Let's go.
Yeah, we're
Big
locked
Orange.
in.
You're making a trip up to the Carrier
I would love
Dome?
to. She actually, it's not called the Carry Dome anymore. It's called like the something wireless.
Yeah, if this is like calling Staples,
I
Crypto
agree.
Arena and whatnot.
The GMA wireless Dome.
Nah.
What is
Great
that?
name.
It's the Carrier.
Awful.
Love it.
Ariel, this is from Coleman T. What's one thing you feel you're very good at, and how could you get even better? Interviewing? I think I can get much better. I think I'm good already, but I think I can get much better. P.S. for my dog Frank, check out Talk of the Town by Fred again. Absolute banger.
Will do. Thanks.
Hey, GC, you good? On Monday's show, you seemed a little let's get this over with and didn't want to be here.
Oh,
It's
wow.
tough. It's tough.
Fucking hell.
Jeez.
Jesus
Tough.
Christ. man.
New York
Usually
Rick.
I'm just kind of in like a trolling mood if that's what it is.
New York Rick, blind rank these. Oh, is New York Rick there, by the way?
I'm here.
Okay.
Yeah, in and out, revolving door.
I spoke 5 seconds ago.
Blind rank these 5 horror movies 1 to 5, with 1 being the
shit.
best.
Okay, this is gonna be bad.
You
Yeah.
ready?
Finally, I'm off the hot seat.
Yeah.
Let's go.
There's actually like 10 before this that I skipped with the blind ranking. The Shining,
5.
Hereditary,
Fuck. 2.
The Witch,
4, but it could have been 3.
Sinners. Is that a horror movie?
I can't go 3, so I'll go 1.
I feel like that's a suspense thriller.
The Wailing.
The fuck? The fuck is that?
higher
3,
than The
I guess,
Shining
but
now.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't even know what the wailing is. But yes, I feel good about Sinners 1. Is this J horror, Korean horror? I feel good. I feel really good about Hereditary number 2. But yeah, or was it The Witch? No, The Witch was 4. I don't know what the wailing is though, unfortunately.
There's a lot of. I'm just looking at the super chats. There's a lot of activity going on. Shaheen has alerted me to this.
Tell us more.
I'm looking at Sucker Free.
Yeah.
Where exactly does the super chat money go to? I know Never Sick Rick gets to sort it out.
Yep.
I assume he secretly buys MTG singles with the money. Anyway, can I allocate this money to buy everyone coffee? You guys are the best. Okay, so here's the thing. When you do a deal, and I'll take you like really inside here. When you do a deal like the deal that we have with Yahoo, it's a licensing deal, right? So in short, they pay me and I pay the vast majority of the team. There are some who don't fall under that umbrella.
Who, me?
Yeah, and no, actually, you're a part of it. So if I go down, you're going down with me, Frankie. And so basically, as a result of that, there's something called a minimum guarantee, and so they pay us this money, and then they sell advertising and things like that, and other revenue that comes in, and up until they get back to the break-even point, we don't partake in that. Once we go past the break-even point, then the company partakes in that. Meaning my company partakes in that. And so it's my YouTube channel, but my YouTube channel is now connected to them. So any revenue that my YouTube channel generates over the course of this deal, the 3-year deal, goes to them. I don't see any of it. So, AdSense and all that stuff that people talk about, that all goes to them, including the super chat money. So it goes into that bucket, but it still helps us because it helps us get to that break-even point and then over the threshold, if you get what I'm saying. Hopefully that made sense. Did I explain that correctly? Does that make sense to everyone?
Who's the check?
Yeah, who is the check, Bob?
What a great drop.
It's an awesome one. I'll go to another one here because by the way, that was from Sucker Free, who gave us $50 for that one.
Whoa, really?
Yeah.
Shit, shout out.
Here's Mitchell, $28 Canadian, so it's really like $6, but it's it's still good.
Wait,
What's
what?
the-
Is our
No, it's
exchange
not.
rate really that bad?
No, it's not. It's not. Random Q, but what are your true feelings on bare knuckle? I tuned in to ask this quickly. I love combat sports, but I even find it very hard to watch, and I promise I'm definitely someone who should love it, but it's even much for me. Look, you could go back to the show. Like I said, it was a bridge too far. I said it was much. And
Same, by the way.
yeah, I think we all thought it was a little
Yeah.
much. And I think part of the reason why we felt a little bit uncomfortable about it was because it was like a lot of past their prime fighters fighting in this very gruesome form of fighting. And, there was the incident where the fighter died in the aftermath, and it just felt like a lot. And the fact that it wasn't sanctioned in these other states, and it was just kind of, off the beaten path, it just felt like a lot. They've done a great job of getting it sanctioned in a lot of the major states, New Jersey recently, etc. It's not in all of them, but it is, now being held in some major states, California as well. I have an appreciation for the fighters, for their toughness, for their heart, their will, their determination. If there's a big BKFC and a big UFC, I'm watching the big UFC. I like MMA more, but I see the appeal, I see the energy, and I see that it can have longevity. I understand that BKFC does have its own issues, and I can totally understand why someone might think this is a lot. But I think it has come a long way, and I think Mike Perry actually is a major, major reason why it's become a lot more interesting to the likes of me. They're just going to have to, like I said in the film, they're going to have to develop some stars. It can't just be the place where careers go to die, or it can't just be the last resort for a lot of these fighters. They have to build their own stars. We have time for a couple other ones or no? All right. But yeah, I'm ready whenever you guys are. Hey, Ariel, do you think WWE has gone a bit cold recently, like a lot of people are claiming, or is it just their usual off-season between SummerSlam and Royal Rumble? Ticket sales seem lower, and there hasn't been much intrigue around the weekly shows. I'll be honest, I haven't been locked in. I mean, even someone told me like Logan Paul's teaming up with The Vision and Paul Heyman, and it's not been on my radar at the moment. I don't know why that is, but is it because this is kind of that like dead period for WWE? In between Royal Rumble and then it picks up, perhaps. There's a very good chance of that. I always like Survivor Series though, and that's coming up end of the month. But I haven't been locked in. Ned, hey Ariel, Ned from Sydney, Australia here. If you can have any fighter past or present as an in-studio guest for your show, who would it be and why is it James Tahuna?
James Tahuna?
I'm trying to get a good one here. You could just go in, Brad. I'm trying to get a good one here for you to. You could put the chair in. It's fine. Don't be so shy.
Don't let him do
I
it.
was gonna hop in. Someone sent me a clip of me saying MJF in like a questioning way, and said that it could compete with James Tahuna, and I was like, these two aren't even playing the same.
What do you mean?
sport
What do you
here.
mean? What do you mean?
He made a cut from the show the other week, and I was guessing something. You were talking about, I can't remember what, and I said MJF. And he said it should rival James Tahuna, and I was like, it's not even close. Not even the same stratosphere.
No. Patrick McCrate says, any chance for a DC and Helwani reunion next week? I didn't even think of that. Should I ask?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
What you up to, DC?
It's always impossible. I saw a video of DC yesterday. I don't know if you guys saw this. He's looking jacked.
I'm telling you, I think it was when Hamzat picked him up.
And?
He was like, it's time to get back in the gym, bro.
Gonna get on the creatine.
I can't get.
Did you see him? I saw a video of
grappled.
him doing his show, and he was looking jacked.
I swear the next day after the Hamzat thing, he was in the hotel gym pumping iron.
He's a savage.
I actually sent him the clip, and I said, you on that stuff? And he's like, no, I'm just pumping iron. I'm like, all right.
Well, you can be on this stuff now, bro.
Yeah, hell yeah. Unless he's still in the pool. Could be still in the pool. Anyway, we will get to more of these questions on the back end still to come. We're going to have Gable Steveson on, Michael Chandler, and then we'll get to more on the back end. So have no fear. For now, though, I do want to say hello to our first guest of the day. Always love having this gentleman on because he shoots from the hip, as they say in the business. He was inducted into the International Boxing Hall of Fame in 2020, inducted into the Women's Boxing Hall of Fame in 2024, former head of HBO programming, HBO Boxing, creator of Boxing After Dark, which was obviously an incredible show. Fight series, you want to call it that. He's also the president of DiBella Entertainment. In addition to that, very involved in the world of minor league baseball. He's your friend and mine. He's New York's own Lou DiBella. There he is. Yes, our old friend. Wow. I can hardly recognize you, Lou. You look fantastic.
Good to see you, man.
Great to see you. Thank you so much for coming in.
Good to be here.
You look much different.
Yeah, I mean, I weighed a lot when I was on the last time, and that was about 6 months ago. And I got all these like bombardment of trolls, like you fat slob. You know? So I took it seriously. 3 days later, I went on a diet. I'm down 60 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah.
Look at you. Okay,
I feel a lot better.
Let me fix this for you.
Thank you.
I want to straighten this out. I want you to look good.
All right. Thanks, bro. Thank you. Yeah. And to all those people, those trolls, I just want to say one thing. You're still mean and a shitty person, and I lost all the weight.
Well
So
done.
there you go.
Well done. Well done. Okay, there's a lot to talk to you about. I always love having you on. You shoot from the
Well,
hip.
the last time I came on, I was like sort of prepared. There was a bunch of stuff I wanted to talk about.
You don't want to
This
be
time-
here.
Hey, no, here, like I'm just like go for it. Like,
Okay.
what I want to talk about, like let's spit it out. Let's go.
Let's talk about Jake Paul and Tank Davis because
Yeah,
I think we disagree on this one. In fact,
No, I don't think we disagree as much as you think.
okay.
Well,
Yesterday via text. It seemed
No,
like we
yeah,
disagreed.
because I like, dude, like they're not Mother Teresa, and it had nothing. It's easy to cancel something if you're 30% sold as opposed to 70% sold,
Right.
and there's principle involved. But they did the right thing, which in combat sports often doesn't happen. So if that was your point to like slap him on the back for that, yeah, the right thing happened. But you know what, man? I watched the press conference and they were making fun of him and they were teasing and taking jabs about like his mistreatment of women. It's funny because I said something about Tank the last show I did with you, and I got a lot of flack for it because I said that I didn't enjoy particularly working with him, right? And actually, when before my split with Heyman, Tank surrounded himself by a lot of knuckleheads, and there's been a lot of crazy behavior. There's been a lot of incidents. There've been a lot of videos. Jake, I think, alluded to online. Maybe he saw a video. Well, I could show him another video that's out there on YouTube from a previous public display of domestic violence. Tank has a lot of shit, but guess what? He always got away with it. He always fought. I just my disagreement with you was really over the fact I don't think they deserve to be crowned for it.
I don't think I was doing that.
And I think that it's easier if you're 80% sold out and there's a gigantic amount of buzz about it. You see, I think that sometimes things make economic sense until they no longer make economic sense. And there was no reason to continue with this event. They had an out. He wasn't being cooperative. Every single thing Jake said in that tweet that I sort of needled him about, because let's face reality. Gervonta hasn't changed who he is. He's been the same person forever. There was, like I said, back when there was a particular event that Al wanted me to promote. It involved Davis. I'll give you one of the other people that were on the card, Adrian Broner, and one more group. All three of them I'd had way big problems with promoting them in Brooklyn, with all sorts of incidents at hotels, with a lot of people that you really wouldn't want around, buzzing around. And I basically, at that moment in time, said that I don't want to do the show. Like, I don't want to promote the show. Go to somebody else, get him to do it. I don't want to do it. So I see, like, some of what he's talked about, I get completely. But the history of Gervonta's been there forever. So it was there when he picked him.
Sure.
Now, that being said, you know what?
But nothing was pending, right? Nothing was pending.
Look, your point's well taken. He can't.
Two things pop up in the midst of the promotion.
But this was also a civil matter. Civil matters pop up all the time. He wasn't criminally charged. Anew.
I know,
he
but
wasn't.
This is new stuff that is popping up.
But
here's my question to you. Here's my question to you, because you're focusing on the ticket sales, which is fair. Like
I'm not focusing on only the ticket
you could
sales.
go online and see that it wasn't selling.
If it was selling hot, would the same thing have happened? I'm not saying it wouldn't have. I don't know.
But here, let me ask you this. What do you think the gate would have been for this event at Kaseya Center? 2 million, 3 million?
I don't know, but it didn't. I mean, if you went online to buy tickets, it didn't look good.
What do you think it would be?
I have no idea.
$1 million? 2, 3, 4?
I don't know.
Here's
another one, by the way. He wasn't being cooperative. He wasn't helping to promote the event. Maybe Netflix also said, we've had enough. Like this, we bargained for a big event. Jake's pulling his end.
I don't think that's the case. I don't think that's the case. But here's the thing. Let's just say it's $4 million. I don't think it would have been that high, but let's just say 5, 6. Okay. What do you think the fee is that they're getting from Netflix? You think it's more than that?
Oh, yeah.
So why would you pull an event? Paper the damn crowd. You're still walking away with 4x, 3x than the gate. All of you are fixating on the ticket sales when they're getting a massive bag from Netflix.
I wasn't criticizing.
But you understand?
I wasn't criticizing him. The right thing happened. Okay. However, if you really like, we're a company dominated by women boxers. We're all about the women. You wouldn't pick Davis in the first place. Know that.
It's a very fair point.
No, it's a valid point. It's really an argument you really can't negate, right? If there was a real concern about, and by the way, not for nothing, I love Mike. I love the guy, the person Mike Tyson is now compared to who he was. But if that was your complete focus, either you might not have chosen Mike either, right? So, it's not about anything else.
It's very hard to play like the moral high ground.
There is no moral high ground. It's fucking boxing.
Exactly. So
no fucking moral high ground.
You'll be.
I ain't mad at him. I wasn't really going after. I never went after him on this. But the point I was more making is like, don't like sanctify him for it.
I wasn't sanctifying. I was just saying I think you all are
Let's move on to
focusing.
the next one because I don't think we're in a different place on this.
But you understand what I'm
happy
trying to say? The
right-
fee for Netflix is way bigger than
No,
if they would have
I
papered
totally
that
agree with
entire
Here's
crowd.
the reality.
So they're losing out on
Whatever
that.
I may think of Jake and Nikisa, what they are trying to do for women, no one else is doing right now, and I got no problem with them. And honestly, like I actually hope they get a benefactor, a platform, a streaming service, someone that sees the vision I once saw for women that didn't come to fruition and the vision they apparently see for it. I'm actually rooting for them to succeed in that area because right now there's not a whole lot else going on for women in boxing.
Correct me if I'm wrong. It seems like you don't love this WBC, 3-round stuff, the
I hate
Chantel
it. No,
Cameron.
but dude,
So
it's empirically crazy.
why?
Why? I mean,
Yes.
just go research neurology of it. Go research head injury. Yeah, it's all
For women?
Stop. If you think there's any civil rights issue, Ariel? Because if you are, I think you're shilling
does that-
somebody.
what does that mean?
What, 3? Well, women should fight.
No, but you
men
seem
fight
to have
3
a big
minutes.
issue with it.
Yeah, because,
Why do you have such
because
the
women
Chantel
concuss-
Cameron situation?
My brother died related to a head injury. I know more about neurology and head injury
I understand that,
probably
but-
than you do. Wait, let me finish. Women concuss differently than men. Young women get hurt differently than men. Now, for the first time, you're seeing that women are beginning to show signs of the same damage men got because they're having long careers in combat sports.
Okay.
Right? Why do you want to make something inherently more dangerous? You think there's a single fucking platform, TV network, or streaming service says, I want longer women fights?
So
they don't
what
want
do you
to pay
think
for
their
women
play
fights
is?
in the first
What do you
place.
think their reason is? Their motive
Because
is?
it's bullshit. It's just
But
like,
why
I don't know,
do
it's
this?
banging a drum on some civil rights issue that doesn't exist.
Is that really what it is? In
What
your
is
opinion?
it? You tell me what it is.
I don't know. I really don't know.
Oh, don't be. Come on, bro.
What good do they get about
Let me
taking
ask you
a belt
question.
away from
You
Amanda
think that
Serrano?
3 minutes of women is going to make it more exciting? Don't you get the fact there's way more activity in 2-minute rounds? Everyone on
course.
earth wants more quicker.
In MMA, the
Everyone
women fight the same amount of minute rounds as the men.
Copy. They all fight less than boxers.
5
They
minutes.
all fight a shorter fight than boxers.
What does
and
that
by
mean?
the way, what?
A
how many minutes in
a title fight is 25 minutes.
Okay, yeah. And how many minutes in a men's
A title fight
how many men's
for women's boxing is 2 10-minute rounds.
No, if you go to 3,
Yeah.
you'll be fighting more.
Yes, okay, but
And by the way, it's apples and oranges, and you should do your homework.
okay. What?
Wait, what? Why do you think there's insurance on head injury demanded by multiple states in boxing and not in MMA?
All I'm
But
asking
stop.
you is
Answer the question. Why in the state of New York, if you do a boxing match, you have to insure against head injury? There's no such requirement in MMA. Why?
you tell me.
No, you tell me.
Well, you're asking a question that you know the answer to.
Yeah, but so do you.
No, I'm not asking you. I'm literally asking you, why do you think
So,
that they are
why-
banging the drum, and why does
why?
this bother you so much?
Because it's a health and safety issue. No one gives a fuck like they don't give a fuck about anything else.
Okay.
Why make a sport more unsafe? The women aren't going to get paid anymore. You're not making the product better. It's bullshit. It's smoke and mirrors. The same way sanctifying
what do you
them for bringing down a Davis fight is smoke and mirrors.
So what do you think their actual play is
I
here?
don't give a fuck what their
Well,
play is.
you're commenting on it, so I'm curious
I'm
to see.
commenting on it because you're taking a sport that's already inherently unsafe. The women's product's always been 2 minutes. Do you ever see fucking any tennis player, female tennis player screaming equal rights? I want to play more sets?
So you say that, yeah.
Well, what do you mean, yeah?
No, I saw you say that.
No, but there's no health ramification of that, and they're still not complaining. In boxing, there are health and safety reasons. Not only that, traditionally, women's boxing's been 2-minute rounds. The product's good. The product's quick. That's what TV and streaming wants.
I don't disagree.
Okay, so what the fuck? I don't know what they're doing it for. It's stupid.
Serrano seems to be behind it.
Why? Who gives a shit?
This
Why?
is what I'd love to
Why?
know.
When she had 3, why? Who cares? Why? Anyone screaming for it? You hear a general public outcry? I'd watch more women on TV if there were 3-minute rounds.
I think that there are some fans who say the women
bullshit,
deserve...
bro.
Yes.
The fans that are complaining about it aren't the fans who are watching women. The fans who are complaining about it are trying to excuse why they don't watch women. I've been around the women's game a long, long time in boxing, way longer than anyone else. I was doing it before anyone wanted to do it, before anyone saw an economic benefit to it. You know why? There wasn't an economic benefit to it, right? But that being said, I'm not behind making anything more unsafe than it is. Period. Why? The traditional way's 2-minute rounds. It's dumb. It's bullshit. It's a bullshit civil rights statement. No, it's not civil rights.
I don't know about civil rights.
What is it?
It's not
You
civil rights.
haven't heard them. Go on Jake's thing. Equality. You don't see that?
Yeah.
Are you not reading that because you work for them?
I
We
don't.
had this conversation
Yes,
before.
you accused me of working for them.
You
and
said I
told-
work for the networks that do their stuff.
Absolutely.
Okay, but you
So why are you accusing me again?
I'm not accusing you.
You just said
No,
are you not
because
calling this out because you
I'm
work for
still-
them?
I'm raising the.
Do you want to see my bank account?
I believe you, bro.
You're surrounded by a lot of
I know
conflicted and biased media guys, and I'm not cut from their same cloth.
You're one of the less,
Talking to the microphone, though.
One of the less conflicted, actually, and you've certainly been one of the more willing to accept a lot of shit for saying what you say. I respect you for that.
I appreciate it.
But when you work for people and you seem to go outwardly.
I'm not outwardly. I'm talking about the topic du jour.
But here we're talking about if you go on Jake's stuff, you're going to see that he's made the nexus between equality and 3-minute rounds. Explain how that works. Is anyone paying them more for the 3-minute rounds?
It's one thing if he does it, but if Serrano says she wants to do it,
but
Chantal Cameron, Tam Tebow, if the fighters are saying
and you believe Chantal Cameron gave up that belt because she wants 3-minute rounds?
I mean, she did.
No, she gave up the belt, but you
Yes.
believe it was because she wanted 3-minute rounds or she didn't want to be in a purse bid situation with Sandy Ryan? I don't know.
This is what
I don't know.
You're the expert.
No,
I'm asking
I
you
don't
the
want to
question.
be the expert,
You know
dude.
what, but you're commenting on it on social media.
I'm commenting on inherently. I oppose making anything more
Fair enough.
unsafe than it is. Okay, I've actually had multiple fighters that were. I had a fighter that I still to this day feel pain over his demise. You know, I have
A male
multiple
fighter.
fighters.
We're talking about women now.
It doesn't make it. Yeah. By the way, you don't think you're going to see the same thing? You think it's going to be safer extending the length of the rounds? For what reason?
Listen, boxing is inherently dangerous. Like now we're talking about now we're splitting hairs here.
This is a ridiculous conversation.
What do you mean?
I haven't heard one.
If you're in a
nobody,
here are the
has
people that
purse
say it.
strings in boxing. No one.
Here are the people that
Hold on, let me
advocated for it.
finish.
Okay.
No one that has the purse strings in boxing has ever said we would embrace that programming to a greater extent if it was longer. And guess what? No one in general is trying to make sporting events longer. I own 2 baseball teams. The success of baseball
Sure.
when we've shortened the games is way better.
I agree.
And inherently, it's just neurological. Medical fact, and I'm not a doctor, so I don't love making medical.
Anything longer is going to be more dangerous. Anything.
Period.
Yes.
And
but I'm saying, you're saying who are the people asking for this? There are Amanda Serrano fans who say if there was a minute more in the.
Yeah, Amanda Serrano. Okay, whatever.
What do you mean? Are you saying she doesn't have fans?
I don't think there's anyone out there screaming, we want 3-minute
If
rounds.
she had a minute longer in that first round against
I
Katie,
don't
she
believe
wins the
that.
fight.
I believe all you have is more boring fights. Most
No,
of the
she
women
wins
still
that
want-
fight.
Let me tell you, they have a greater tolerance
longer
for pain.
time to work with.
They give birth to things the size of a bowling ball.
Yes.
Okay, they have a greater tolerance for pain. They have bigger balls than most of the
Sure.
fucking men in the ring.
And-
right?
and they can't go a
because of
minute
that,
longer?
They tend to be braver and they put themselves at more risk. And inherently, because of physiological differences, they get affected by concussion differently than men, particularly younger women. And now women are starting to spar and fight at 12 and 13. Okay? Don't make anything more dangerous for no fucking reason. No good reason. That's it.
Okay, fair enough.
All right.
Why-
Let's move on.
Let's move on. You don't like that one?
No, it's personal to me. It is personal.
I
to me.
understand that it's personal to
My
you,
brother
but
committed suicide after a serious head injury. It caused me to go into a wormhole of trying to understand neurological damage in the brain. It's a very different thing. And by the way, it's an inherently dangerous sport, way different than MMA. MMA injuries, to the extent they're going to happen, don't tend to the same extent to be traumatic brain injury. That is a fact. You can call any neurologist you want. You can go online and ask AI, and you'll get your answer.
the ultimate question I was asking, and then we'll move on, was what do you think their motive is?
I don't know a lot of their motivations.
I mean, you have 2 fighters that you work with that work for them as well, right? Shanika Johnson
Shanika Johnson wants 3-minute rounds.
and Sharetta Metcalf, right?
I used to. Sharetta, I worked with Sharetta. I worked with Shanika.
And if they were put in a 3-minute round fight, what would you do?
I'm not working with them. I mean, basically,
Sugar Neeks?
Neeks is controlled to promotional rights, even though I participate, are
Yes.
controlled by Jake.
Okay.
So it's up to her and Jake what she wants to do.
You wouldn't
That being
stand-
said, I mean, she knows how I feel about it. I've told every manager and female fighter I will never promote a 2-minute. Never in my career did I promote a 3-minute round for a woman. Never would I ask for it. Nor do I think it's noble. Nor do I think there's any civil rights aspect to it. Nor that I think it's
that's crazy
anything.
to me. The
Nor
civil
that I
rights
think
part is crazy.
How is it crazy if you go on? Look at what Jake said about it.
I don't care what he's saying.
Chantal Cameron just said, standing on principle. I'm giving up my belt.
I don't-
Why is she giving up her belt? What
If
is she?
anything,
What principle is she standing on?
I don't know. That's literally why I'm asking
Okay,
you.
but you're asking the right. I think you know. You can surmise.
really don't.
You're a smart guy. Like you're a smart guy. I listen to
You think they're just trying to virtue signal?
Yeah.
That's what you think?
Yeah, and I think it's absurd because
Okay.
I just think it's not very bright virtue signaling.
Okay.
It's stupid virtue signaling. But let's go on.
Okay. By the way, we were just talking right before you came in. Talking to the mic, please. Right before you came in.
By the way,
you're fired
the way
up today.
I'm talking, I don't think anybody's
Are you fired up because of the mayor race that just wrapped up?
You know, man, I'm a repudiation of Trump is a beautiful thing to me, but I'm not a big Mamdani fan. I'm going to lie to you.
Okay, we'll leave that.
We'll skip politics.
Yeah, we'll skip. We were just talking right before you walked in, BKFC. Have you watched any of this?
The bare knuckle shit.
Yeah.
Watch it?
How do you feel about it?
I don't know, man. I've talked to a lot of people. People bleed more. It's not good for your look. It's not good for you.
But they always say it's cosmetic, right?
Yeah, because your hands, like, you actually can probably do more. I mean, they're not lying when they say head injury wise.
Yeah.
You're actually probably safer because your hands hurt so badly. Your hands get broken so quickly. Things happen that you're not pounding away with the same impunity that you are with a padded glove, but you're doing the same braid injury with the padded glove. So it's not a matter of, but I don't like all the blood. I don't like the look of it. I don't like the fact they use washed up people. I don't like watching a Paulie Malignaggi gets cut up like a turkey. I don't enjoy that shit.
So you don't watch it?
I'm not going to say I've never watched it. If I'm sitting there and like I got nothing to do and I'm like my significant other's up asleep and like have I watched it? Yeah, I've watched it. I've actually, to be honest, I've seen a couple of good scraps on it too. Look, I mean, dude,
can it get like not UFC level, but like does it have legs?
No, because is it really different? It's just no gloves and
it's
the fighters or the athletes aren't as good.
Quick though.
Yeah,
quick knockouts.
Box, weirdly, I'm not going to get into this argument or discussion with you, but if boxing matches were quicker too, they'd be more popular too.
What would you do? What would you suggest?
On what?
On the rounds and the times to make them quicker.
I think that where we are in the men, I mean, I guess there's a certain point in time you care. I want my change to be in a different area. Like one of the reasons why, despite my like a lot of stuff I've said about the TKO efforts and whatever, I haven't been totally complimentary. I haven't been totally. I don't think I've been totally critical either. Right. But when I look at all that stuff and I look at what TKO is doing, if the only thing they accomplish is dragging down the old system of taking down the ratings organizations, taking down the interim belts and the regular belts and the super belts and the sanctioning fees and the judges that are co-opted by who they work for, by the bad judging, all that shit, if that collapses because someone's coming in with a monopoly kind of mindset, then at least some good came out of it.
Okay.
Right? So I'm a believer that boxing needs a reset and a teardown. So that's one of the reasons why. And by the way, now that I'm not like, I don't give much of a fuck about making money in this. I'm a baseball guy these days. And frankly, there's a lot of other business stuff I'm working on that I'm excited by. I like having a voice in this. I love boxing. I wouldn't be in my life where I am right now. I wouldn't have had the wild ride I've had and the fun I've had. And thank God it's continuing, though in different places. But I owe a lot to boxing. And I love boxing. So I like having the opportunity to come on here and chat with you and talk through some stuff because I want to see the sport succeed. But it blows now. It sucks.
Okay, so let's talk about that.
I watched the fight Saturday. Did you watch the fucking fight with Boazzi and Parker?
Oh, yeah.
You saw it? Did you watch it?
I watched the highlights because it was
I only watched the fight because so many people called me about it. And I watched the fight.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, it's a shit fight. Like, start with that. It was a shit
fight.
Like, if I never see Boazzi again, I wouldn't give a fuck. It was a terrible fight. However, the other guy won. If he didn't win 8 rounds, he didn't win 1 round.
Right.
Like, I know how to score a fight. There's no way in the world that guy didn't win 8 out of 10 rounds. And they just took it from him. And that's the old system that we've been propping up. And a matter of like 48 hours later, they announced they're having a fight card at the WBA convention. And a guy named Cletus Selden, the Hebrew Hammer from New York City, nice kid, tough kid, like, but pedestrian as they come. Just a guy. Just a guy. A guy that's got some popularity, Jewish kid with a following in the neighborhood, he's got a little bit of popularity, but just a guy. And then he's fighting some 8-0 guy that fought 8 hobos. I mean, hobos never fought a real fighter. And they're fighting for a world belt, like some version of it. Interim. I don't even know which fucking one I don't pay attention to. Sure. Right? But like the preposterousness, the unadulterated gall, right? And then just 2 days earlier, I watched a guy win 8 rounds to 2 on DAZN and lose. And like, it's just, some things never change. And I don't think they will change until
they might be changing now. So let's talk about that. I want to ask you about this.
Not by their own volition.
You spoke about TKO, Zuffa, all this stuff in March when you last came in. A lot has happened since. Number one, California State Athletic Commission has this hearing in September, and they start talking about the Revival Act, the Ali Revival Act. But then they say December, and then they do the...
Why would the state commission be banging the drum of any promotion?
Why do you think?
I don't know. I mean, I got to be honest with you. I think if shit quacks and it's got fucking feathers and it walks like a duck, it's a fucking duck. And I'm not going to be I already get accused. I said something I thought was incredibly complimentary about Jake and last night on Twitter.
Yeah.
And I got a bunch of people telling me, "Oh, you're a hater." I said, "How is this hateful?" I said that this is exactly what he does great. He builds his brand.
Right.
He develops a following. I mean, every fucking combat sports star, boxing, MMA, celebrity, influencer, is the second he needs an opponent, they're all banging their fucking drum. Right?
Begging.
That's not begging.
Yes.
Like fucking like they got begging on their knees, like weak, like begging.
Yeah.
Okay, well, he's doing something right. Jake and Akisa are doing something right.
Right.
They built something. By the way, they built it the same way, the ease at which Turkey came in to be a gigantic force, backed by Saudi fund, but Turkey came in immediately. TKO decides finally they make that flipping the switch. Ari and the people way above said, like, we're going to do this. And they got the Saudi money backing them, right? Everything is laid out right now in a perfect way for them.
Okay, so how do you feel about the fact that they were supposed to have this vote in December? They move it to October. Yeah. The vote has no real relevant boxing people on it. Everyone was tied.
The commission vote didn't matter shit anyway, and if they want to support it, who cares?
Talk into the mic.
It has enough votes in Congress. It's going to pass. When it gets eventually
it's fait accompli, right?
It's a fait accompli. I've been told by a lot of people who know a lot more about what's going on in Congress than I do, members of Congress, both sides of the aisle, have told me it's pretty much a fait accompli.
How do you feel about the fact that they're saying, oh, you can either pick to go this way and use the old Ali Act?
That's horseshit, man. What are they talking about? You choose to use the old Ali Act. I mean, no, the Ali Act is still sitting there, but what does it mean if you're a UBO?
Yeah.
You see, there's another thing. People don't tell you. Like, part of the reason I'm not that exercised about the Ali Act is because it wasn't enforced. We discussed that in the last time.
Yeah.
That's a big one. It wasn't enforced. Here's the other
Sometimes it was, though.
Very rarely. Yes. I mean, look, it was a great
course
deterrent.
Of contracts.
I support the Ali Act without the amendment, okay?
Yeah.
And without the second Ali Act. I'm clear on that. I've been clear on that forever, okay? Put that aside. But I'm not exercised about it.
Right, okay.
But here's the other part of the problem. When promoters started getting these fucking exclusive deals, that basically destroyed boxing. Because they all started trying to behave like the UFC without any of the business rationality and, frankly, any of the talent of the people running the UFC. And
when you say exclusive deals, you mean exclusive TV deals, right?
Like
Matchroom
Eddie
DAZN.
has Sky, and then Eddie had whatever here,
Yeah.
and this one's exclusive there, and this okay. So they were trying to be UBOs without being a UBO.
Okay.
Like that's okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But here's what happens: ESPN gives a sum of money. Here's your whole pot for the year, right? They're not doing quality control. They're not buying in individual fighter services. They're engaging a promotion for a lump sum of money. Then the promotion can play with that money any way they want with respect to what they're reporting to the fighter on the Ali Act.
Right.
So the exclusive deals and the lack of real reporting, the lack of real transparency, the lack of real negotiating leverage rendered it somewhat meaningless. It was simply a deterrent. I support deterrents, particularly in a shitty fucking unholy business. Okay? So that deterrent will be largely gone because the promotion, the person giving the belt will be the person setting the purse, will be the person signing the young fighter. Like it's all one bubble,
sure,
one entity. That removes the leverage, as it has removed the leverage in UFC from the biggest stars. It removes that leverage from the.
Do you think we would be better off?
Hold on.
Yeah.
I'm not so sure, and I said this the first time we spoke about this. Don't lose sight of the fact that the average Joe, the guy, the lunch pail guy that's not like just has dreams and is in a gym and an opponent, he's a professional opponent, those guys get treated fairly in UFC than they do in boxing. So I'm not saying necessarily that the UFC model, and that's what the TKO thing is going to be sort of,
sure.
It's going to be the UFC model, that's not necessarily going to hurt the majority of fighters. It's going to hurt the earning potential of the biggest guys. Because simply put, TKO, the way UFC doesn't put up with bullshit or over-negotiation or being held over a barrel, they constantly remind the athlete, we are bigger than you. That's going to happen in boxing too.
Can that succeed though? Can they actually create?
It succeeded in TKO. And, I mean,
Yeah,
not
but-
as,
but
not
they-
as
they
neatly-
established
No,
that.
because we've always been
We have
taught-
100 years of a different system.
Yeah, you're right, and it can't be done as simply. And
It's
by
gonna
the way,
take
I'm not even so sure.
decades
I'm
to
not,
undo
yeah,
it.
But also, I don't think that they're necessarily immediately worried about worldwide domination. They have an easy road in the United States. Boxing doesn't exist here right now. You think anyone fucking gives a fuck about the zone? You think anyone has the zone? How many of your neighbors have the zone? You live in a building in the city. Ariel, you're in suburbia.
Suburbia.
Okay.
No, trust me. I know
the
that
people.
I get
anyone
the
have
point.
the zone?
No, of course not.
Okay. Anyone even know what it is?
No,
You think you build a star that way?
no,
Think
no.
you build a sport that way? No.
But
The door's
they're on
wide
Paramount
open.
Plus,
And the door is wide open.
Netflix.
The door is wide open.
Right.
The door is wide open. But Netflix doesn't.
By the way-
I don't think Netflix necessarily is ever going to give much of a shit. They did Canelo against
Yeah.
Crawford, but my understanding is, and I don't have the numbers, and I haven't seen anything. No one's given a press conference. I have no insider knowledge, but clearly, Canelo and Crawford didn't get the buzz that Tyson and Jake Paul got.
Oh no, they already put out the numbers.
I mean, I don't believe any number that comes up from anybody.
Oh really? Okay.
Believe me. There's no.
And it didn't. By the way, it didn't.
I ascribe no truth to anything that they released.
You don't believe anyone.
I don't believe anyone.
Okay.
Well, I was a television executive too. I have
Sure.
no reason to believe anyone.
Right.
You know, unless you were facing Nielsen numbers on.
Would you guys put out fake numbers too in the HBO
no,
days?
but we had but differently. We had a general policy, right, which was you round up a little bit, 10-15%. We never really put up because also we were really negotiating without
right.
exclusive deals when I was there. So we were the marketplace. So you didn't really also want to lie and negotiate against yourself. Like, oh yeah, we did. Oh, you did 2 million buys. I want to double my purse the next fight, right? So you wanted people to understand what they were really generating. The problem now in Turkey world, right, and it's not TKO world because that's going to be the other interesting thing. What's the rub going to be with Turkey and TKO? Like TKO is trying to establish a ground game, to reestablish the norms, right? While Turkey is paying people astronomical numbers based upon no economic analysis, simply what he wants to see and what he decides he's prepared to pay, and that doesn't work in a real business. So are they going to be able to jive all that? If they can,
Do you think they will?
maybe. I don't know. I think from what I can see already, body language wise and just looking, it's not going to be an easy road with Turkey.
What do you
and
think
Dana.
of Dana's demeanor that fight week? Remember the press conference? He's asked some tough
look,
questions.
I think that Dana's probably wondering to himself a little bit. I don't speak for him. He's not,
No, I just you've been there.
I think he might be sitting to myself going, what do we get into here?
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Because he also understands something that overpaying the big name because you just like the guy's demanding more and you give him that money. How does that jive with trying to knock down the base?
Right.
Right. And it's going to be a balancing act. And you know, right now, my sense is that, you know, if you look at, I respect the fact Turkey's a fan and he seems to love boxing. He seems to at least want to make some big fights he wants to see. But he also seems to wake up like some days and just like he's on one thing, then he's on another thing. And it's the flavor of the day, the flavor of the month. He's, you know, I don't fully understand where he's getting all his advice from and the people around him and whatever. There are some people around him that I think know some things. There are some other people around him. I shrug my shoulders and there are some things I see being done that I can't understand.
Like what?
A lot of things, but you know,
You don't want to elaborate?
No, not all of them. But look, there's another aspect to it also. You're seeing some of the natural Saudi bias toward, like, if you're an Anglo guy, if you're English, like the whole play of the Riyadh season thing is way more aimed at you too. Like the Saudis are way more culturally tied to Great Britain, where most of them go to college. Where most of them go on vacations. It's where a lot of them get educated, go for their medical care, whatever. They have a lot of, you know, contacts. I think that you look at DAZN, you could see right now DAZN is Anglo emphasis, right? It's British, it's UK emphasis. I think a lot of that is also true with the stuff the Saudis are doing. I also think there are times where the Saudis should be holding the line and actually not doing business with certain people. If a fighter's negotiating against fantasy, stop the negotiation.
Do you remember in July they announced that they were going to get rid of pay-per-view on DAZN and still?
Yeah, but like that's another thing, bro. Like I don't. Like, what is DAZN doing? Like, how many announcements are you going to make that aren't true? How many times are you're going to like subscribers are fleeing? It appears to me. You know, I'm not an active subscriber anymore.
You're not.
Lie. No.
When did you stop?
while ago. But
Really?
I mean, I've
Is it because you felt like you weren't
I have
getting?
people in my office have it. I can go in my if like Sean would never. Sean has every stream who works for me. Every streaming service knows to man that any combat sport.
Right.
Okay, but like for me, like it's just sort of my own little personal statement. Like I don't think it's value.
Going back to the Ali Act thing, would you prefer, like in MMA, there's no version of the Ali Act. It just doesn't exist.
It
There's
should
nothing.
apply to MMA too.
Okay, well, I was going to ask, would you prefer if just boxing got rid of everything? Let it be the Wild West like MMA?
I mean, it's the Wild West now. I mean, when this thing passes, it's already the Wild West. Doesn't matter much. No, I mean,
should the Mauricio Suleimans of the world, should they be nervous?
They weren't nervous when the fucking Ali Act was in there. They
Yeah,
should be
but
nervous for a whole different
if
reason.
you have a massive
They should be
entity-
nervous for a whole different reason. They
Which
don't have a
is?
sustainable business anymore, right?
Because these guys are coming in?
Yeah,
and
partially.
saying, F
Because
you.
because they failed. Because we failed. I'm going to say we. I was part of this too. I made a lot of money in this business like a lot of other people. And I had success in this business like a lot of other people. And while it was all happening, I may have been more vocal than other people. I may have said we're heading toward a bad place quicker than a whole lot of people and more publicly, but I continued to play in the sandbox with everybody else. You know, I tried to create meetings. At one point, there was a promoter summit, went nowhere. But you know what? We deserve what we're getting right now. We opened the door for Jake. We opened the door for MVP. We opened the door for Turkey. We opened the door for TKO by being in a rational business, with an irrational business model. If you think that the WBO, the WBC, the IBF, and the WBA could continue to thrive and make money the way they have historically in this new environment that's coming, you have another thing coming to you.
What about California? You were talking about that, and then we got off it.
I mean, it's dude. It was,
I spoke to Oscar De La Hoya, and he
the
said
state
Andy
of-
Foster, he was disappointed.
Yeah, he should be disappointed. But look, dude, the John McCain figured out decades ago that there needed to be a national commissioner of boxing was going to be basically without oversight. The state athletic commission system is broken. It doesn't work. You got political hacks running it. They come in and out. Nobody's got a really stake in anything. Everybody's a star fucker. The perception of a lot of state regulators is my job is to help the biggest events come into my state and the state make the most tax revenue and athletic revenue. That's my job. Not protecting the athlete, not standing for any integrity. A lot of people just have a misguided view created by our political system as to what their job is, right? I don't understand why the guy who runs the California Commission would want to opine saying, I don't know this guy, but I think they're great. Or I support changing an act that could hurt some number of the fighters that fight in my state. I don't think, like I said already, I'm not one that's accepting blanket that this new act is going to be bad for every fighter. I think a fighter previously whose manager was paying him $1,000 out of his pocket to fight on a card, but then now may sign with TKO and get 10, 15,000 and have some guaranteed number of fights in a year, clearly that fighter's economically benefited. Clearly that guy's in a better place than he was before TKO and before the UBO system got approved, right? So it's not necessarily going to harm everybody. See, part of the reason I'm so outspoken right now and why you asked me earlier, why you keep going on Twitter, why are you saying this shit? Why? Because one, I'm smart, right? Two, I know a lot of the players. I can connect the dots. It wasn't a surprise to me that they went to Paramount. I knew they were going to go to Paramount.
Well, that was an obvious one after the UFC deal, right?
No, it was an obvious one. No, not after the UFC. It was obvious that the UFC was going to Paramount.
Oh, you're talking, with the Ellison and Skydance.
Who the fuck owns them? Just follow the money.
Right.
And by the way, it's good, smart business. One connected company serving the interests of another. One that needs to buy programming and needs popular worldwide programming being fed programming by another entity in which there is an economic investment. It's just smart business. It was inevitable that Paramount was going to do a UFC deal. Most people, like in the TV sports world that were talking about shit, were prognosticating that. And once that happened, fait accompli, either exclusive or non-exclusive, there was going to be a boxing deal at Paramount.
I think it's weird that the amount of years and money for the UFC deal was revealed like literally within minutes of the announcement. 7 years, 7.7 billion or 7.8.
There's nothing weird about it because no one knows what the fucking boxing thing's going to be.
But why don't we know? Why don't we know?
Because you don't know. What
I'll
is it
tell
going
you
to be?
why we
How's it
don't
going to
know.
work?
Because of the Ali Act, you don't want to tell the world. You don't want to tell your fighters how much you're making.
Yeah, but it's not just the Ali Act. And by the way, it doesn't really matter anyway because
they can have a piece of that pie.
It doesn't make a difference. Everyone knew that Eddie Hearn had gazillions of dollars funded by DAZN, Right now, by the way, the Ali Act only applies in the United States anyway. So
Sure.
if you do all the events in Riyadh,
not gonna do that.
all the events in UK, Ali Act doesn't apply. Only applies in the United States.
Yeah.
Okay. And then in the United States, once you're the beneficiary of a pool of money as a license pool for your various fights, you're the one allotting the money. So you sort of have the ability to report to some extent what you want to report to the fighter, which diminishes the true transparency, if there's any transparency left at all, right?
Is that a championship ring you're wearing?
It's it's here.
What is that? What is that?
It's
the Giants.
Yeah.
Oh, because your team is an
Dude, I'm
affiliate.
the only person in combat sports history that has 3 World Series rings.
Which one is that?
This is 2014. With the Giants, I have a 2000.
No, just show it to the camera. Can you show it to no, this one, to Brad. Look at that. Look at that. Wait. Look at that. Wow. How many diamonds?
I don't know. It's a lot. They got progressively more outrageous.
Yeah.
2010 wasn't. 2012 was bigger than 2010. This I rarely wear. Now I could wear it again because I lost 60 pounds.
That's amazing.
It fits again. It fits again.
Where do you keep them, by the way?
I'm locked in a little safe at home.
What about that World Series, huh?
Man, it was great.
It was great. I saw you rooting for the Jays.
Yeah,
Thank
man,
you.
I was. I'm
It was
a
heartbreaking.
The Dodgers. So like, the Dodgers broke my dad's heart. So like, I hated the Dodgers my whole life. So I still hate the Dodgers. And by the way, I love the Toronto Blue Jays. Like I like that. I think that team was a cool team.
They were
A
really
very cool
likable.
team.
Yeah.
And by the way, they had every chance, 14 different ways to win that game. It was a heartbreaker, man. And like I'm
was.
not even I was rooting.
It was
for
good
them.
for the game, right? It was good for the game.
It was just it was a sensational baseball game,
Right.
and the whole series was really one of the best. Like I'll never forget that World Series. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. I appreciate that. Okay, so going back, Eddie versus Dana.
Yeah.
What do you think of this little feud that's brewing?
I mean,
And who's winning at the moment?
who's winning at the moment? Eddie ain't winning.
Why not?
What did he win?
He's getting some.
What did he win?
I mean, he's winning. He's up on the cards, though.
What did he win?
He's getting some zingers in there.
He's getting look, dude. Eddie is.
Do you think it's a calculated?
Eddie is wonderful in front of a camera. Eddie is
the best, I would say. I think he's the best promoter in combat sports.
but it depends how you.
I'm not
a very bright guy.
Oh, so what are you talking about? Come on.
He's not. I mean, he's
Standing
self-admittedly
standing at the dais.
No, he
one
is
sells the fight
as
better than him.
facile with a microphone as anyone I've ever seen.
Right.
In the P.T. Barnum-esque sense of promoting.
That's what I mean.
He's brilliant. If that's not what you mean,
100%.
we agree.
I'm not talking
no,
about.
we agree.
I'm talking about on the dais.
But here's why I'm saying that. But by the way, Eddie loves to say that himself. He loves to say, there's nothing like, I'm not a really smart guy. I love this shit and this is what I do. He's not really lying about that part of it either. Because if he was a really smart guy, he would understand that doubling down on the WBA and the WBC and the WBO and the IBF, doubling down on interim belts and regular belts and super belts, doubling down on corrupt judging, doubling down on the existing system ain't going to make him competitive with Dana. And more importantly, ain't going to make him competitive with the people that Dana works for. Because now you're into some very sophisticated high-end business. And you got Nick Khan there, and then you have Shapiro there, you got a whole giant group of like very smart people that have decided that they're allowing a play to see, can we do in this area with the help of Turkey's money? Can we do what we did in UFC? Can we do what Vince did in WWE? Can we become the dominant promotion worldwide organically by making this investment? And the Ali Act change, wonderfully smart, needed to do it. They did it. They got it done. Perfect political
Not
climate.
yet, but
It's going to be done.
yeah.
Perfect political climate for it.
Sure.
Jared Kushner, Donald Trump, the whole fucking thing. It's just a perfect climate for everything.
What does Kushner have to do with this?
I don't know. He was in the table at a lot of meetings in Saudi Arabia and a lot of the meetings with the Middle East.
Sure.
Judge how he has anything to do.
I know, but what does that have to do with
I
the
don't know.
Ali Act?
Maybe it has nothing to do with it. Maybe he does. I certainly think the fact that this administration is so close to.
It's
a gigantic advantage. And it's
what about
clear.
this gambling
There's going to
scandal?
be. What does he have to do?
The gambling scandal right now, and the FBI is investigating, but they're good friends with Kash Patel.
All right, I'm sure. So they're fine.
Have you heard about this story?
Of course I have.
What do you think?
I think that I have no doubt it's true that there was some.
Is this a bigger problem? Because I'm starting to hear
but
from
it's not
people
a
in
bigger problem
MMA.
for
What
UFC.
about in boxing?
No.
You don't think people are throwing fights in boxing?
Oh yeah, but there's different ways of throwing fights. I think people have been legally throwing fights in boxing on a weekly basis.
What do you mean by legally?
I mean the whole system's corrupt.
No, I know, but do you think?
No, it's not
someone's
like, oh no, I understand. No, it's not. You don't understand.
Okay, so tell me.
No, but I've told you already. I went through this with you for an hour the last time I was on the show.
With legally throwing fights?
No, not with a bag. You don't. And first of all, you're not getting enough of a drop on the average boxing fight that someone's going to go through the risk of bribing one of the fucking fighters.
This is what we're seeing right now in MMA.
Now, you might have situations where particular fighters in their own head are saying to 6 of their friends or themselves, I'm going to not knock this fucking guy out until late in the fight. I can knock him out in the second round. Maybe I'm not doing that. Do I think that goes on in boxing? That's going on in basketball, football.
Right. What about guys taking dives?
Baseball. They would look at the baseball situation with the crazy wild pitch that had all the action.
Yeah.
Dude, this is going on in every sport. As soon as you invite gambling in as your major sponsor, as soon as you invite gambling in as your major partner, the fuck do you expect? Okay? Now in boxing, I actually mean this. The drop is less. Now, I don't believe it would happen on the level of a Canelo Crawford fight in boxing. I just don't.
Not worth it?
No. And there are other ways. And by the way, even if you got to the fighter, if the fight goes the distance, you better get to the judges.
Right.
Because I saw a fight the other night that a guy won 8 rounds and lost.
Have you ever promoted a fight where you thought something nefarious was going on?
Only in terms, gazillion times where the decisions were fucked up. And
No. But you were watching the activity.
No, but
you're like,
see,
this guy's not going 100%.
Not in the sense of thinking a fighter took a dive.
Okay.
Now, I've seen other people's fights where I did, but I wouldn't comment on it because I don't.
Of course,
that's a
you don't want to
very
make the
ridiculous
allegation. Yeah.
Have I seen shit that I questioned? Yes.
Okay.
I'll say this though. There are situations I absolutely know that were unholy involving judges and referees.
Those are the easiest ones. But you know what? In MMA, it's actually, I think, easier to fix a fight.
Yes, I agree with the fighter.
You go for a bad takedown, 100%. You get submitted.
That's one of the reasons why I don't think it's a pervasive problem in boxing.
Okay.
I don't.
The UFC, though, has a big problem on their hands. Would you not agree? Because this calls into question the integrity.
I think every sport has a big problem on their hands, and I think Dana has handled it appropriately. I think his response has been exactly what it should have been. I think calling Cash Patel immediately and getting the phone with the FBI, they clearly are close to this administration. They're going to be treated with kid gloves. They basically are part of this administration. They're about to do a fight card on the White House lawn, right? But I think that Dana handled it appropriately, right? Anybody that gets implicated in this shit, we're going to run them out of the fucking business. And any assistance we need to give to the FBI, we're going to give. And any deep dive we need to do, we're going to do. He said those things. That's what he needed to say.
Are you bothered by the fact that there's a fight that's going to happen on the White House line? Do you think that that's inappropriate?
Yeah, a little bit, but
Why?
Is what it is. Look, man, I'm bothered by a lot of shit, but I'm also philosophical about a lot of shit. And what I mean by that is the following. I don't begrudge, like Dana and the UFC guys have been friends of Trump forever. In a weird way, I respect loyalty and friendship. I respect consistency of view. Like I expect, Dana and I agree on very little in many ways.
Have you ever met him?
Yeah, many, many times.
Okay.
And we've talked a number of times. He's always been respectful to me. We've always had a decent relationship, but not a close one, but mutually respectful. But I'll say this. In his own fucking code, in his own weird world that I don't agree with a lot of the shit on. His friends are his friends. The people he supports are the people he supports. The things he believes in and what he believes in. His hatred of the press is his hatred of the press. He's fucking consistent, and he's not a punk. So, based upon that, I have a modicum of respect for that. Because to me, the people that you can't say those things about have no loyalty, don't know who their friends are, aren't consistent, right? And you disagree with them, those I have no use for those people, right? At least this guy, I may disagree with him on a lot of shit, but you can sit here and have a conversation and leave respectfully, even though you agree on nothing. So
I wanted to get your take on Top Rank. Their last event was in July.
Yeah.
It's November.
Yeah.
4 months.
If they had a deal, they'd be an event.
Well, no. So now they just announced they have a fight card coming up on their Fast channel.
They're doing what I look, and I just
on
and
Facebook. They
I
had
have half
a
a dozen fighters left that I haven't divested of myself of, and I'm going into my pocket to get them fights. And Top Rank.
What's going on?
Top Rank's going into their pockets to make sure they meet their obligations. They're investing in their stable of fighters when they don't yet have a home for them. They're doing the responsible things a promoter should be doing when they're in this situation. But they are under tremendous pressure, and they don't have a deal. If they had something big to announce, it would be announced.
Of course. Right. Is this troubling? Could this
it's
signal
troubling.
The end?
I mean, look, we're heading toward the whole place that the sport has in some ways is troubling. In other ways, it's interesting, right? It's
interesting
I just did a podcast with some dude, and we were chatting, and he said something about these are huge times for boxing, and I took issue with it because I don't think it's huge times for boxing. It's the most hugely transitional moment for boxing in my adult life. Right, and in my career, my career is no longer in boxing. But if it was, it would be. And as a fan, as someone watching, as an observer, as a voice, this is the most transitional time where who knows what's going to break and happen. Who knows how it's all going to break? We don't know. You know, I mean, apparently, money that's already been invested in Matchroom is Qatari money from Qatar. The Qatar fund, the Qatari government has deep pockets similar to Saudi. If Eddie wanted to create a UBO, if Qatar wanted to go on and take on Turkey, would there be a possible challenge that could come from that area? Maybe. Might be the reason why Eddie just announced so much business with Turkey. Might be reason why Turkey's keeping Eddie still so close to him, right? That being said, Eddie's doubling down now, taking on Dana, saying, I'm doubling down on the old belts. I'm doubling down on the BO, the BC, the BF, and the BA. I'm doubling down. That doubling down is not going to work. It already failed. Like, that system has failed.
He's hinted at going into MMA. Do you think he could be successful in MMA? No. Why not?
Because he's not in it. Because there's a completely dominant promotion worldwide. Worry about boxing, which is his bread and butter, and where he is an expert, where he is. I think you and I agree, for as much as I may not think, you may think he's a lot smarter than I think he is. He's certainly a great promoter in a bang the drum, P.T. Barnum, Don King sense. He's one of the best. He's a future Hall of Famer for that reason. I mean, I take nothing away from it. I know him since he's a kid. He infuriates me in many ways.
Why?
Because he thinks he knows everything. Because he doesn't. You know what? I hope Eddie can find happiness in life.
You don't think he's happy?
No.
Really?
Yeah, I see a guy that's completely like I've known Eddie for decades. I don't know any of his. I know nothing about him, his family. I know nothing about his friends. I know nothing about his interests outside of boxing. I've been around him, spent countless hours with him for decades. I know virtually nothing about him. There are a lot of people in the industry and the business that I can tell you their family members' names. I can tell you what kind of music they like, what kind of concerts they go to.
Maybe you're just not close.
What?
Maybe
no,
you're just not close.
I don't know anybody. Like, I've talked to people that like have worked for him for decades that don't feel like they know him particularly well. I think Eddie's all about the biz. By the way, I think he's very centered on the body. It's what he grew up in.
But that's part
it's
of
what
his
turns
success,
him on.
right? That's
to some extent. Yeah, probably. But you know, I wouldn't want to be that way.
By the way, for the record, I don't work for Eddie, but here I am saying nice things about him.
No,
you're going to accuse me of working for him.
No, I never, and I'd accuse you of working for them too.
Yes, you did.
You've done a tremendous number of their events.
Yeah.
Here's the other thing, and you, I think we could agree on this. If you were thorn in their side, if you felt the need to needle them on the air of the platforms that are paying you, you wouldn't still be announcing for them. Okay, it's not on you. Let me finish my point.
I had a public dispute
well, that
with
was
Jake. With Jake publicly on Twitter.
Okay, yeah.
I said his belt that he walked around with was fake.
Dude, you already have proven on multiple occasions you're willing to take people on.
Yeah,
that differentiates you from a lot of people. But almost the entire combat sports world, the entire journalistic coverage of combat sports is co-opted. Almost the entirety of it.
Nothing to do with me.
The fucking entirety of it.
Not entirety.
Almost.
Because that includes me. And
Very
this
close.
entity.
And by the way, there are others. I could name another half dozen people in the combat sports realm that I respect. We just lost one of them, Tommy Gerbezi, which broke my heart.
Yeah.
But there are other people too, right? And it's one of the reasons why I'm probably more out there with my big mouth now, even than when I was more actively.
You feel the need.
I just
no one else
feel
is
like
doing it.
Because no one's telling the truth. No one or giving their version of the truth. There are a lot of people I've heard say incredibly intelligent things critiquing stuff, but they don't want to be out there because they're still in the biz. Like, they don't their major sources of income aren't in baseball. They're still thinking about a future in boxing, and they don't want to alienate the powers that be. And right now, the powers that be that they have to worry about, they're in Saudi Arabia. To some extent, if anybody is involved in the women's realm, they're Jake and Nikisa. If anybody has a fighter or an intention of personally as a fighter wanting to fight Jake, you want to have a good relationship there. If anybody,
that's just kind of life, right? You want to have good relationships with people, right? You don't want to torpedo every
on-air
bridge.
talent, journalists, writers. They need to earn a living.
Sure,
they have kids and wives too, and they have families, and they have the needs to survive. So everybody's. I'm not begrudging anyone for taking a bag, but let's look at the whole thing and see what it is. You know, that was my
going back to Top Rank though. Yeah. What happens to them? Like, do you think that there's a chance they don't get any type of deal?
Look, Bob's 94, man. He's like Yoda. Like, I love the fucking guy. I could sit there and laugh with him.
He's
for 3
unbelievable.
He's a force of nature, and he still has his
But Todd's been there for. It's all been set up for Todd to take over.
Yeah, but yes and no. I mean, Todd's in Aspen. I don't know how much Todd really loves boxing. Todd never became a boxing guy. There are other people at the company. They have an entire organization, but an organization is very expensive to run. There's a big infrastructure. There's a lot of overhead. I said this on this little podcast I was at the other day, and they put the snippet up. I'm going to say the same thing to you. Part of it's how much Todd wants it. How much does Brad Jacobs, Carl Moretti, the matchmakers there that run their department are senior citizens. Like one of them's a senior, the other one's approaching. Like when Bob ultimately either says enough or, and I hope he lives 100 years, but he's not there anymore, a lot of that company's going to disappear organically.
You think there might be a chance they don't exist in 10 years or so?
100%.
Really? Okay.
In 5 years, in 3 years. Right. But there's also a chance they might be thriving. I'm not underestimating.
But if you don't have a TV deal, you have nothing.
Well,
right?
I don't know. I didn't have a TV deal.
You could only be a certain...
After I left HBO, when my initial output deal, which was not any exclusivity, it was a way they could pay me out on my contract when I left HBO and I started my promotional company. I never had an exclusive deal with anybody after that, and I survived pretty damn well. Now, that being said, because I had been a buyer, I'd been a television executive at a pretty high level at a network, I had all these relationships. So my relationships with everybody probably allowed me to navigate the last decade better than any other promoter in America could have. And I'm not beating my drum on that. I'm making a point like I was advantaged.
Yeah.
I had been a buyer. I had all these relationships. Even the people that don't like me don't think I'm a dummy. And I haven't really screwed a lot of people. I don't have a track record of making deals with people and reneging on them. And I was able to survive, but dude, it was painful. It was horrible. And right now, I don't think someone really right now without some kind of TV deal could compete.
Does American boxing need them?
Top Rank?
Yeah.
No, but they need competition. I don't need that it has to be Top Rank.
Because like right now it's Golden Boy.
Yeah,
MVP,
I mean,
as far as the American base.
The absence of competition in any industry, particularly in the entertainment industry, any form of programming, the absence of competition is a bad thing, okay? So I want competition. Like, people say like you and Eddie, you're fucking this and Eddie, you're always Eddie. No, I have a lot of respect for Eddie. I mean, and by the way, I'm rooting for Eddie. Like I actually really am. Eddie's too good at this to go away. I don't want to see Eddie go away. He's too good at it, right? I want Dana and those guys to have to think. I want them to have to think that there are some other things out there. And everything, I don't know where they're going to go. If I'm turning around 4 years, 5 years from now, and they shot the bed, and I think boxing's more of a shit show than it is now, I'm going to be as critical as them as I was about the whole industry now, right? I just think I'm not going to sit there and rip them when they haven't even gotten started, and myself and all the other people that were in control of this industry for many decades, we didn't leave it in very good shape. We allowed all these people to come in and take over our room, right? So, like, how much bitching can we really do when someone else comes in and says, "I see an opportunity," because you fucked it up? Because they're not lying. If we were thriving, Turkey wouldn't be able to run in and be the omnipotent, Middle Eastern ruler of boxing. If we were doing our jobs, Dana and Nick and all them said, "Hey, maybe we should take the Saudis' money. We can fucking own this the way we own, wrestling and we own MMA." If we had done our jobs the right way, they wouldn't be able to do that. And I was saying some of this shit when I was still completely entrenched in it, but it's even clearer to me now that I'm not so entrenched in it, that I'm giving it a little bit.
You're a survivor.
Yeah, well, look, if I wanted to keep working at boxing and make a living, no one could get me out of this. I'm too good at it, and I know too much, and I have too many relationships. If my concentration was going to still be on boxing, I would have a place, but I don't really want it, and I do feel that the system of promotion that pre-existed no longer exists. And all of the you asked about state athletic commissions before.
Yeah.
Almost every state athletic commission set of rules is designed around a promotional system where the promoter was the money. The promoter hasn't been the money in decades. The television entity is the money. The pay-per-view customer is the money. The streaming service is the money, right? Right now, the gates have become almost irrelevant to most of these promoters because they're getting such.
Which goes back to my point about Tank Davis and Jake Paul and why it is ludicrous. Thank you very much for setting me up for this to suggest that they canceled the fight due to some measly ticket sales.
No. I never said that. I think by the way, I don't think.
You just said the gate is irrelevant.
It's not irrelevant to that decision at all, bro.
You just said it.
No, I didn't say
to most promoters, the gate is irrelevant.
No, most shows. It's not irrelevant when you can make a $20 million gate and you're only making 4.
They're not making $20 million.
What did they make? What was the
Say
Tyson gate? You want to tell me what Tyson gate was?
In 78,000 people.
Okay, but that's not the point. The point I'm making to you is there is an economic analysis made, right? Here's the other thing. They're not stupid. They're building a motherfucking brand, Ariel.
MVP?
Yes, they're trying to build a brand.
Sure,
I mean,
of course.
there's a certain point in time where even like where you sit there and you go, tickets haven't sold. He is a fucking degenerate. He's not fucking helping the promotion. The event's not doing what it should have done. It's not going to resonate with the audience for Netflix like it should have because Davis hasn't done anything to help it, right? So you have an out. It's an intelligent decision. If you don't think that all the shit factored in, you're not thinking.
It went into, but everyone online was saying this is not.
Okay,
this is,
no, I
this
didn't
is
say
just
that.
ticket sales.
No, I didn't say that.
Guys, you retweeted Kim and all those guys.
No, if you think it was, I agree with him. If you think it was solely a moral decision, you're a fucking idiot.
But if you think it's
by the way, I
solely a
love
ticket
you.
sale,
if you think that, you're a fucking idiot.
No, listen. It was a bag of things.
It was a bag of things.
But if you think that the lack of ticket sales was bigger than the gate, the money that they're getting from Netflix is crazy. They could do it at Universal Studios, and
they were
Netflix
making
wouldn't
fun
care.
about the shit at the press conference, right?
They were needling
It wasn't
him.
so concerning that Javante had a history of being a fucking domestic
I hated
violator.
the fight. Hated the fight from the beginning.
History of being a degenerate for how long? Did it matter at the press conference?
No, I mean,
okay, so
they made the fight. I didn't like it.
I don't believe it came down for that reason alone. I believe it was a bag of things. If we agree on that,
we agree.
And move on.
Okay, fair. By the way, and I'll let you go in a moment. This is always so great. Victor Conti, did you ever have any interactions with him?
Like fucking screaming matches, arguments.
Really?
I insulted him on occasion. I called him a dirtbag.
Oh, God.
But I want to tell you something. I grew to have a measure of respect for him.
Talking to the mic.
I grew to have a measure of respect for Victor because I found him willing to engage in the most difficult conversation and willing to understand why I thought he was a dirtbag.
Which story are we talking about here?
Just in general. You asked me,
No, I know, but was there a specific time? It was a lot of times.
It's this whole fucking curve. Look at him. I mean, what the fuck?
I know.
But we had conversations that made me realize a couple of things. One, his highly intelligent man, like a very, very brilliant guy, like very quick, very smart guy. I actually think, I don't buy into he became Mr. Perfect. I don't buy into that. I think he was a complicated man.
Yep.
I do buy into the fact that there was a degree in which he regretted his road and was trying to correct it. I will never be totally critical of a man that regretted his road and tried to correct it. So I hope Victor rests in peace. There was a period of time where I was completely negative on him, but after conversations and we didn't become close friends, but there was a degree of respect in a conversation where I think that he was capable of understanding why a lot of the negativity toward him existed. He didn't, to some extent, care about how people viewed his redemption or not. He didn't give a fuck. He believed personally he had become a more noble person, a more ethical person. And I think that's what he cared about. So on that level, respect.
Says a lot about Tank Davis, by the way, that he was celebrating his death on social media. Of all the many things that you could say about Tank Davis, pretty shitty.
He's a terrific fighter, and I was a big fan of him as a fighter. But even working with him, knowing him, I was never a big fan of him and what he portrays. I'm just not. And there's the fact that event's not going to be a showcase event for Netflix, not going to be a showcase event for Jake Paul, not going to be a showcase event for boxing is a net positive.
Yeah, I do feel for the undercard fighters, including Sugar
I feel
Neeks.
very, very badly. And by the way,
some good paydays on those, right?
What, though? Here's a little one. It would have been nice to see Netflix make a statement and run the show anyway. And I don't think that was
meaning
up to Jake.
without the main event.
Yeah, and I'm sure Jake and Nikisa sought that because every promoter would.
Sure.
But it would have been a nice thing to see that because it would have reflected the understanding that a lot of people's lives are affected by this one guy that didn't do his. Yeah. They're
saying they're going to try to rebook it for December.
I hope so.
You like Ryan Garcia versus him? You like that?
I don't like any of it versus him. I think it's all stupid.
Francis Ngannou?
I don't like any of it. What? So you're going to go from a guy that was a midget to a guy that's a fucking giant?
Anthony Joshua?
Let me tell you something here. Let me go back to Jake for a second.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to go back for Jake for a second. Jake's not bad for boxing. like these morons online. I've seen a lot of it this week too. After the thing fell through with really criticizing Jake as if Jake is some great negative for the sport. You know, Jake is ruining boxing. Jake is a no. It's all that's complete and utter bullshit. However, if Jake couldn't pull these stunts like a Gervonta Davis fight or an Ngannou fight, and none of this was flying, it'd be better for boxing. But I'm not going to criticize the guy because he found a niche. I'm not going to criticize the guy because he became a star in the midst of an environment of boxing that fighters barely fight. When they do fight, they're seen on platforms that nobody's watching. When they fight pay-per-views, they're seen on pay-per-views that are viewed by virtually no one live, and most people are reacting to clips they're seeing on social media, right? I'm not going to I'm not criticizing him for creating a brand and a promotion and making money and being smart at it. However, if like Jake couldn't do any of this shit, it'd all be better for boxing.
Thank you, Lou.
Always
This is
a pleasure,
great.
bro.
This is great. Let's do it again in like 6 or so months.
I'm whenever you want.
I appreciate it. There he is, the great Lou DiBella, owner, by the way, of the Richmond Flying Squirrels. Shout out to them.
Go on, check out the. We're building CarMax Park in Richmond. There's CarMax Park has its own
2026, right?
It's April 7th, 26th is the first game. And beautiful.
Can I come?
You're invited.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
You were invited.
You're a mensch. Thank you, Lou. We'll take a break. Say goodbye to Luke. Be back with Lou. I should say. Be back with Michael Chandler right after this. Also, still to come, Gable Steveson. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Man, I saw some pictures of you. You're looking shredded.
Yeah, for sure.
No candy for you. No M&Ms. No.
Yeah, no, none of that.
How much do you weigh right now?
Even though I feel so much better at 147, my weight is good. I eat what I want. It's not my training camps aren't based around weight like they they were for a long time. I was training camp. I would go into training camp to lose weight. And spar pretty much for skills. So now, it's really around, game planning, getting better. It's not about weight.
I mean, you look incredible. To me, it's almost like, wow, I wonder how good you would have felt. Like, do you think, man, if I would have done this like 2-3 fights ago, life would have been a lot easier for me?
Yeah, life would have been a lot easier for me. I think that, people said that I'm a weight bully, but I only stayed at those small weight classes because it was so much at stake. I had to, defend against Kambosos the second time. I was signed a contract, and then Loma, I signed a contract to do that fight, and then I went up to 140, and I felt all right in the first fight, or my first fight at 140 against Regis. The weight cut, it was hard, but it wasn't extreme. But then for the Ryan fight, it was extreme. So,
was it awful? Was it to the point where you thought maybe you wouldn't make it?
Not that I wouldn't make it. It wasn't that extreme, but it was extreme. I would say the fight where I felt like I wouldn't make it, the second Kambosos fight was super hard. That weight cut was bad. The Loma fight was hard. The worst one was the Kambosos, for the second Kambosos fight. The Loma fight was hard. And the Ryan fight was this number 2. That one was super hard.
So your last fight was at 144.
Yeah.
That's kind of, it was just a catch weight.
Yeah, that was easy. I made that weight easy.
So you're expecting just a breeze here?
Yeah. Well, I came in. So my nutritionist, told me to come into weight. Come into training camp bigger this camp. So I came in bigger. Because obviously I had 3 pounds. No, I feel great. Do
you think this is it for you? Or do you think you...
No, I think I'll go up. I think I'll go up again.
Really?
Yeah.
How high do you think you go?
I don't know. Maybe 160 eventually.
That's what I was thinking, yeah.
I think 160 eventually.
But you want to stick around at 147?
Yeah, I plan on being here for a while. Like I said, I feel great. I feel so much better. It's crazy to just, I'm way more happier. My sparring has been showing, that how sharp I am, how much stronger I am. And, they say I can't take a punch. So,
Who's saying this? Who's saying this?
This is, what they say. They say a lot. People say a lot.
People are saying you can't take a punch.
I don't know.
Why? Because
they forget about the Ryan Garcia fight that I got up 3 times.
Yeah. Is it
what
just,
does that mean? You cannot take a punch if you get up? I don't.
Brian saying this?
No, I don't know. No, that's
Just the whispers.
What they,
Yeah.
But they say a lot. So, they say that I can't punch too. So, now at 147, we'll see. We'll see if I punch harder, if I could take a punch better. That's why this fight is so important to me because, you know, they say that I can't block a left hook, right? That's what they say. Well, we seen Brian Norman his last fight. He knocked the guy out cold with a left hook.
Brutal knockout.
You know, so they say I can't take a punch. Well, we got a guy who's strong, who can punch. He's from what they say, he's kryptonite to my style. So that's why this fight is such an important fight for me. And you know, turn the non-believers into believers and prove the doubters and the naysayers wrong.
How did this come together, this fight, this particular matchup?
Yeah, so the first fight that was actually signed was the Ryan Garcia fight. You know, we signed
rematch.
for it. Yeah, the rematch. And
is this before Times Square or after Times Square?
Before Times Square.
Okay, yeah.
It was already signed. You know, we were going to face off.
In Riyadh, right? That was the plan.
Well,
All right, back on the program. That was my conversation with Devin Haney from last Wednesday. Lou DiBella, magic as always. We'll move along now and say hello to our next guest. He is the star of the upcoming Roadhouse 2. Who would have thought? When I asked him to come on, I had no idea. I had no idea that this was the thing. He's the one and only Michael Chandler, who's kind enough to join us on this Wednesday afternoon. Movie star now? What's happening here?
You never know, man. It's just it all came together pretty quick. I mean, obviously, I've known about my involvement possibly for a really long time, but flew on out to location about 10 days ago, and now I'm back for a couple days, and I go back out there. But yeah, I did know when we booked this, but I wasn't going to break any kind of news.
No,
you probably already knew, Ariel.
I did not. You, Woodley told me he was on a movie set. And he mentioned you, but I had no idea what this was. And so could I ask, how did you like you, Woodley, and also you and Dustin on the set together?
Yeah.
What's happening there?
Hey, me and Poirier are mending fences, man.
Really?
You know, yeah. I mean, we have had a good working relationship on set together. You know, I mean, it's all water under the bridge at this point. But yeah, I mean, you talk about me, Rico, Verhoeven.
Yep.
You know, Tyron Woodley, Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, MVP.
Wow.
Jake Gyllenhaal. I mean, yeah, man, it's been one of the main characters, the guys from The Raid. Man, just really, really cool cast. Obviously, some notable names who are fighters, who also have some decent acting chops. Yeah, man, it was an absolute blast, and we still got a lot more filming to do.
Is this your first movie?
Not my first. I've done a couple, but this is my first one. You know, I don't want to give away too much. My first one with a decent amount of involvement. We'll put it that way.
And no sign of Conor McGregor on set.
I did not see Conor out there.
Okay.
You're not sure if he's going to be on in the movie or not. We'll see.
And when does this come out?
You know, I actually don't know, man. I just you know me, man. I'm a nose to the grindstone kind of guy. We're filming. We're gonna, and then they got to go through the editing process and the promoting.
Okay, so it's still a ways away.
Sometime in, yeah. I mean, we're just in the filming process right now. So toward the end of 26 or maybe early 27.
Okay,
not quite sure. So you got to ask Jake Gyllenhaal or someone else like that.
By the way, shout out to you on the old school Hulk Hogan lunchbox behind you. This is a relic.
Hey, yeah, actually, I got to bring this up because you'll actually.
I love that.
You'll love this. This actually was mine.
Wow.
From 1988. Betty Chandler, my mom, wrote this in there back in 1988, 89. WWF.
Wow.
Thermos. So it's actually really funny, and I'm sure a lot of the listeners or even yourself will attest to this. Moms and dads keep all kinds of junk. I'm like, Mom, Dad, throw all that junk away. Don't ever bring it to my house. I got too much stuff in my house. And she's like, well, I got a few things, and she brought my All-American plaque and some of my awards. And she's like, and I also have this Hulk Hogan lunchbox. And I was like, thank God you didn't throw that away. Because, yeah, I mean, that ink from that Sharpie has been in there for freaking 30 years.
Oh, my God.
So pretty cool, man.
I love that. Were you watching the cartoon back in the day as well? Do you remember that? Or was that before your time?
No, I think it was a little before my time.
How old were you in 88?
88, I was 2 years old.
Oh gosh. Okay. All right.
Yeah, this says Titan Sports trademark.
Yep.
1989. So
Unbelievable. I love that. That's amazing. Put it back up there. I like looking at it behind your show. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. And a great
my prized
segue.
possession.
A great segue, by the way, because they announced very recently Real American Freestyle Wrestling. You're going back to your roots, which is the promotion that the late, great Hulk Hogan and Eric Bischoff and Chad Bronstein set up, that you're going to be competing. How did this all come about? There it is, November 29th against Chad Mendez, of all people.
Yeah, Chad Mendez, man. Chad and I believe we're about a year apart. So obviously I watched him wrestle in college. We became friends and cordial after years after, obviously, when he was fighting and stuff. Similar guys, similar foundation, similar wrestling, in your face, nonstop action. My managers reached out and they said, "Hey, what do you think about a wrestling match?" I'm like, "Hey, I know what Real American Freestyle is. I watched it, saw Bo compete, saw a couple matches, and man, I would not be sitting here talking to you had it not been for the sport of wrestling, and then me taking a chance of walking on to the University of Missouri, becoming an All-American there, and then and that trajectory leading me toward mixed martial arts and all the success and ups and downs and this beautiful life that I've built. So it'll be, it's somewhat nostalgic. I think that's part of it too. I love the sport of wrestling. I owe the sport of wrestling so much. Every single time I tie on my wrestling shoes, I get a different feeling than when I'm tying on my boxing gloves or I'm putting on my shin guards. There's just something different about putting on those wrestling shoes. So I'm excited to go out there and compete. Chad Mendez is a perfect opponent. We're going to come, obviously we're the main event, so we are the big wrestling match on the card, but we're going to come to steal the show, and we're going to put on a great show for the fans. And I'm learning through the rules. The rules constantly change year after year. I got Mike Hatcher here in town, who's got a Young Guns Wrestling Club. So I'm training with those guys, got a bunch of bodies to work out with, and I'm coming for gold, man.
And so, just curious, last time you competed in a wrestling match, how long ago would that have been?
An actual sanctioned wrestling match would have been March of 2009. March of 2009, when I right here got the 5th place trophy in St. Louis, Missouri, of all places, my senior year, and then graduated in May of 2009. I threw my first punch in March of 2009 after I got done, started hitting mitts and training with Tyron and Ben and those guys. Graduated in May, fought my first fight in August of 2009. Last time I was on your show, I think you brought up that I just celebrated my 16-year anniversary of August of 2009. And but obviously, I've been wrestling ever since. It's part of what we do. But Real American Freestyle has some interesting. They don't have their own interesting rules. Obviously, there's just the freestyle international rules. So it's gonna be fun. It lends itself to nonstop action. We'll put it that way. So I'm gonna go out there. I'm gonna score some points. Look for some big throws. And it's going to be a lot of fun, man.
Is this all kind of gravy to you, or are there some nerves? Because it's been 16 years, not since you competed, but like in an actual match with points that count where another guy is trying to beat you. How do you view this?
It's interesting. I think it's kind of gravy. I think I love competing. I love mixed martial arts. I love competing in the gym every single day. But wrestling is special. Now, obviously, learning the actual nuances of the rules when I'm training wrestling down in Florida with my team, and whether I'm wrestling with Logan Storley, multiple time All-American, or Mitch McKee, multiple time All-American, and these guys, you're not really thinking about the freestyle rules. You're thinking about how to wrestle as it pertains to the sport of mixed martial arts. Whereas now I'm wrestling as it pertains to actual international wrestling and what the scoring system is like. What does the turn look like? What's feet to back look like? What is the push out rule, the challenge, and all these different tactics and things. So it's kind of been cool to kind of show back up as a walk-on again. I walked on to the University of Missouri when I was 18 years old and kind of just had the whole world at my fingertips, but I was also scared to death, and I was trying to learn how to become a college wrestler. And now 16 years later, I guess 20 years later, I get to go into the sport of freestyle wrestling on a big stage, on a big mat, on Fox Nation, with the entire wrestling world looking and watching, to just show up as another walk-on again, trying to learn the rules and learn the tactics. So, it's exciting, man. It's cool because we need challenges in life, and it does scare me a little bit. But I've been wrestling ever since, and wrestling is ingrained in me, and I love the sport of wrestling, and I love wrestling when I'm training, and I love putting together a training camp to go beat up Chad Mendez.
Is this a one-off with them?
I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I think we'll see what we never know what the future holds. The future is up in the air right now when it comes to when is the next fight? Who is the next, when is the White House card? Who's the next opponent? What's going on? All that stuff. Obviously, it's all under wraps right now. But I like to stay in shape. I like to keep competing. Obviously, I'm doing a ton of business stuff, and obviously, we alluded to Roadhouse. That's keeping me busy as well. So I got a lot of things going on, and a wrestling match at the end of November, right after Thanksgiving, sure makes a lot of sense. Go out there and compete.
Yeah, is that annoying that it's 2 days after Thanksgiving?
A little bit, but I think I gave up the notion of ever having a Christmas dinner or a Thanksgiving dinner. I mean, I've missed more Thanksgivings in my life than I've actually participated in, because I have fought every single year basically, and wrestled every single year since I was 14 years old. I've either wrestled or fought in November since I was 14 years old. So it's one of those things where, man, holidays are great and they're fun, and I love to get together with the family. We'll celebrate, and I'll watch my kids and my wife eat a big old turkey feast, and I'll just have to be a little bit more disciplined and go run a couple miles and cut the weight. But luckily, the match is at 175 too, so it's not.
Oh, okay.
Not a crazy. Yeah, it's not a crazy weight cut, and that was kind of part of it too. It's like, hey, I'd rather compete closer to my natural weight.
By the way,
a little bit, but not too much.
With something like this, do you have to get permission from the UFC, or are you allowed to just do anything as long as it's not MMA?
I'm the kind of guy where I'm always I'm not a. Some places in my life I'm going to ask for forgiveness, not permission kind of guy. But when it comes to, hey, I'm going to go compete in another type of sport, it's not mixed martial arts. Obviously, I let the UFC know, asked for their blessing, and they had no problem with it. They gave me the thumbs up, and now we get to go compete. Okay.
By the way, you had mentioned 175, and that made me think, 175. Getting you ready for a potential 170-pound fight down the line. Is there any connection between the two?
No connection between the two. I mean, obviously, I weigh more than 175 right now. I'm up in the 80s, but I'm slowly bringing it down ever since I knew this wrestling match was going to come to fruition. Started to get into a training camp, start eating, not as calorie deficit like I am when I'm making 155, but leaning out, getting in shape. And yeah, I mean, 170 at the White House sometime in, I don't know, spring, summer, whatever the heck it is, that's the goal. That has always been the goal ever since this thing got announced, ever since Connor said, Connor got back in the testing pool, and Connor said he's coming back and wants to fight at the White House. So no updates really. But that's what I got my sights set on.
Okay. So here's the thing. You're now back into that period where it doesn't make sense to take another fight. Right? Like you're so close to this date, even though we're still, let's say, 5-6 months away, it doesn't make sense. So are you now back to that, like, I'm now waiting to see how this plays out?
Yeah, I am. And similar.
And does it feel familiar to you, this feeling?
A little bit. But the way I see it too is we'll get some answers in pretty short order here, and then we can make a decision. Like everybody knows I am notorious for being the guy who's in shape at all times. I can jump into a training camp 6 weeks, 8 weeks notice. So if it doesn't look like it's heading in that direction, it's going to be pretty darn easy to jump into a training camp and fight somebody else on the White House card, fight somebody else somewhere else, who knows. But right now, just like last time when there was a little bit of a wait and a lull, one thing that people often overlook was that I went 2 years without a UFC paycheck and didn't have a problem with it. So, and that's just a testament to setting my life up in a way in which I have multiple revenue streams and I have a solid reputation, and not just in the sport, but just amongst my business partners. And there's a lot of ways to make a living outside of just getting punched in the head in the UFC octagon. But that is one of my favorite things to do in my entire life. So I'm excited to do it. And I pray to God that it's at the UFC White House lawn.
What are you feeling right now? I spoke to Connor in our film. He said it's Chandler. He also said I signed, but then he clarified, like, I haven't really signed. But it, he's off social media, and it's been several weeks now. Are you feeling confident about this?
I think, like you said, he hadn't signed, but he said it was a done deal.
Yeah.
And done deal reminds you of Connor circa 2016, circa 2017, but 2014, back in the heyday when it was like, hey, my life and what I do is a done deal. I'm 100% fully focused. I don't care who they show who they throw at me, whether it's Chad Mendez on a week's notice after Jose Aldo pulls out, or the Nate Diaz debacle when that was a 10-day notice or whatever. He was in any person, anytime, anywhere. It's a done deal. Conor McGregor, is he that guy? We don't know. But in his mind, it sounds like it's a done deal, that's what he wants. I'm the guy he wants to fight at the White House on the lawn. Fight makes a ton of sense. He's a man of his word. And we have a contract that was signed and then ripped up because of his doing. So I do feel more confident about it. And I do, I'm not hanging my hat on it. I hold everything with open arms, man. Pray for wisdom every single day. And I know that it's going to work out the way that it's supposed to work out. And I'm just going to keep myself busy between now and then. Obviously, the wrestling match, Roadhouse, the book, just signed a contract for documentary today. So we're doing all kinds of cool stuff, man. And I was put in this sport for a reason, and it's always been the same goal: make people feel something when I fight, and also change the view of what people think a mixed martial artist is. And I've tried to make good on that promise, and we're going to keep on doing some really cool things.
Okay, so first of all, the book, what is that about?
The book is going to be somewhat my story, but diving deep into the principles and lessons that I've learned over the last 26 years of hand-to-hand combat, from high school wrestler to walk on at the University of Missouri, never a state champion, didn't really deserve to be there or felt like I deserved to be there, and then ended up becoming an All-American, and then betting on myself to going to mixed martial arts, winning world titles, losing world titles, and then betting on myself to leave Bellator and then go to the UFC, and then how it's all worked out and panned out really, really, really well. I by no means think that I have the perfect blueprint for a young man out there, but I do think there's a lot of lessons and principles that young men, especially out there, who are looking for a purpose, who are looking for a blueprint and a way to live their life, to operate, and ultimately win in the end. That's why I wrote the book. We just got done with it. We're putting the final touches on it, and then we'll also do a documentary coinciding with it.
Okay, so the documentary is about the same type of stuff discussed in the book?
Similar, but obviously we'll bring a lot of different voices in, interviews of people and the way that they have seen how my career has played out, who I am behind the scenes, the things and the moments of my career and of my life that have impacted them and touched them, that are way different and far and away from just the punches, kicks, knees, and elbows and the performances inside of the octagon, because ultimately it's so much bigger than just the wins and the losses. It always has been. And, I take flack for losing some fights or falling short or never winning the UFC world title or whatever it is. But ultimately, a man can rest easy at night and lay his head on the pillow knowing that he did every single thing possible within his power to become the best version of himself. And I've tried to do that since day one. So we'll bring in a lot of voices. We'll document the next training camp. Praying to God that it is heading up to the White House, crescendo, climaxing at the White House. So we'll see. But I've got some great partners on it, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
By the way, you're one of the more perfect people to ask this question. Very recently, Ronda Rousey was on a podcast talking about MMA fans. I don't know if you saw this. And she basically said, like, MMA fans treat UFC legends like shit. You lose a fight, you ain't shit, you never were shit. You, to me, are the perfect example of this. You've had some big wins, you've had some tough losses, but I still feel like the fans love you and respect you. And so when you hear that from her, I don't know if you heard these comments, but do you feel like the fans turn on you when you lose a big fight? When you fight Justin Gaethje at Madison Square Garden and have an incredible fight, or Dustin Poirier, do you feel like they treat you like shit afterwards?
A little bit. Ultimately, and I've said this a million times, man, we are just human beings. I know we are looked at like gladiators and gods and infallible, crazy, superhuman superheroes, but we are just human beings. So it does, hurt at times to hear people and hear their comments and hear the way that they want to throw salt on a wound after a loss. But it's also what we chose. We chose this life. We know what we signed up for. Pressure is a privilege, and being on a platform is a privilege. So we know what we signed up for. It also depends on the demeanor of the individual. I think Ronda was self-proclaimed and would say, and I would say this to her, I think she was kind of the bad guy, right? She kind of was, she was sweet here and there, but ultimately, she kind of had this F you type of mentality. And she was, somewhat of a bully, and that was kind of her brand. And it was cool. Like, I don't give a damn about my reputation. That was an awesome song, right? So that was part of who she is. And I think my brand, or I hate to say brand because it sounds like I created something and that's what I want people to think. I just am who I am. And at my core, I'm just a guy who, I'm not supposed to be here. I showed up, walked on to University of Missouri, showed up at Lake of the Ozarks in 2009, tried this thing called mixed martial arts, and it turned into this beautiful, awesome career that I've enjoyed. And I've always just enjoyed being more positive and trying to create more connections with fans than I have, throwing up the middle finger and just being like, I don't care what you think about me, because I kind of do. Ultimately, I kind of do. And that's not a people pleaser mentality. I think that's the building of the platform and the building of the testimony that I ultimately want to continue to convey on this masterpiece that I'm painting throughout my career. So I think there is merit in what she said, because they are some vile, ignorant, mean individuals after a man or a woman just gets knocked out or submitted or loses in their greatest moment of opportunity, which then also sometimes becomes their darkest hour. But I think ultimately it's just the brand that you carry, so to speak. And mine's a little bit different than Ronda's, but I got a ton of respect for her. Loved watching her fight. But there's some merit to it.
I just don't know if it's MMA specific. I think that just might be social media, right? If you falter on an NFL big stage, you're getting that crap too, no?
Yeah. I mean, you're more romantic about the sport, and I am, because we are in it. So of course that's our frame of reference. But ultimately, yeah, man, it's just people are the worst kind of humans. That's what you got. That's what you got to, that's what you got to, it all boils down to, man. And that's, kind of in real life, but less in real life, but more on social media, man. People got no problem just throwing out some hate or throwing out some venom or throwing out some stuff and not really thinking about that there's a human being eyeballs on the other side and they're going to, ingest it. But ultimately, man, it's just it's every sport. And people are invested. And also there's the betting culture now where it's like, hey, not only did I want you to win and you lost, so I'm mad at you that, but also I wanted you to win and I put money on you, so therefore now I lost money, so now I'm mad at you. The amount of times I've had people be like, hey man, you lost me money. I'm like, I don't care. I didn't lose you money. You lost you money.
Yeah.
So
crazy times with this gambling stuff, huh?
Yeah, I guess I just
you just opened the door
on accident. Yeah, I just opened the door. I mean, yeah, I really don't know much about it. I didn't see those fights. I was in shooting in an undisclosed location. I don't know if that's been made public or whatever, but shooting the Roadhouse movie, so it was time change and stuff. So I didn't watch the fights. Did not even hear about that particular fight necessarily, but then obviously we're seeing it now, so. It all comes out in the wash, man. So we'll see how it all plays out.
I understand. Just a couple more, and I'll let you go. Since it's your weight class, at least for now. By the way, you think the Conor fight, if it happens, is at 170? That hasn't really been discussed because we're kind of waiting for it to all play out. But the first one was at 170, right?
Yeah, it hasn't been discussed. I would guess it's at 170.
Okay.
But. Just like last time, and I took flack for it because people called me a brown noser and a guy who just rolls over. But I'll fight him at 155, 170, 185. I don't care. It doesn't really matter. The weight class has never mattered. Conor and I are about the same size. So whether we want to cut weight to 155 or we want to stay our natural weight at 185 or we meet somewhere in the middle, doesn't matter to me.
The reason I bring that up is your weight class, there's a bit of a two-horse race right now. Patty, Justin against Ilya. If it was up to you, who deserves it?
God, it's a freaking tough question, man. I've already gone on record and said I'm Gaethje, man.
Okay.
But ultimately, there's a lot of different arguments you can make. Patty has never had a title shot. Patty is newer. Justin Gaethje has proven himself against the toughest guys in the world, and fight after fight is fight of the night after fight of the night, fight of the year after fight of the year. But he has had a couple title shots, a couple opportunities here and there. So it's a tough one. That's why I am not a promoter. Do not want that job, and it's a tough decision. But they will make the right decision for them and the right decision for the biggest fight possible. With that being said, I'd like to see it go to Gaethje, but then again, I would not be surprised whatsoever if it's Patty versus Ilya, whenever it is.
Does either beat Ilya, in your opinion?
No. I think Ilya Topuria is the most skilled guy in mixed martial arts on the planet. He did steal my line the other day when he said, see me at the top.
Oh,
But with that being said, he wrote that cryptic message.
Oh yeah. TM.
I'm like this dog up here stealing my lines. But with that being said, I think he's the most skilled guy on the entire planet. Him and Alex Bejeda, obviously, are just absolute monsters. But I think Ilya's got the edge in that one.
How do you think Islam does next weekend?
JDM is a tough. He's not much of a puzzle, man. He's pretty basic, but he is brilliant and violent and devastating with the basics, man. A little bit of range, a little bit of reach on Islam, and I won't even sit there and say, because Islam's a different breed, man. I wouldn't sit there and say, oh, he's a 155er, so he's not used to going with 170 pounders. I would not be surprised if Islam, his entire career, has been sparring with 55, 70, 185, and 205ers because the dude's kind of a nut. So I think I don't think strength or size is going to be the problem. It's really going to be the dichotomy between JDM's great striking abilities and is his takedown defense enough to stop the onslaught of wrestling that Islam's going to bring. Because I do think, even the stand-up battle against Poirier does hit hard because I witnessed that and felt it firsthand. But there's no way he hits as hard as JDM. So I think it'll be interesting, man. I think Islam's going to get tagged up a couple times, and we're going to see if he goes to that wrestling pretty quick. But I think JDM's a monster, man. I think I give JDM the slight favor or the slight nod in that one. But I would not be surprised if Islam is holding the belt, and then now you got a whole nother conundrum where you got Ilya and him wanting the super fight and all that stuff. So we'll see what happens, man. Crazy sport.
We'll end on this. And I'll ask it in a different way because I like you two very, very much. Is there a moment on set you and Dustin shake hands, bygones be bygones? Was there any of that? Break bread? Any interactions?
There was.
There was?
It was good. Yeah, it was
Tell us.
No, it's good interactions. I mean, first of all, we have an international peace treaty too. So like once you go to a foreign land, anything that happened in your homeland goes away.
Okay.
But no, I mean, it's one of those deals where, number one, even if he hates my guts and I hate his guts, which is not really true, we've just had some disagreements here and there, the respect that Dustin operates with and the respect that I operate with, we're not there to make it about us. You think I'm going to disrespect Jake Gyllenhaal and Josh and the production and all the stuff by starting something with Dustin or him doing the same thing with me? It was cordial. It was even more than cordial. It was, bringing up stuff about our fight, and talking about disagreements, because obviously you got buffers there too.
Yeah.
You got Tyrant, you got Wonder Boy, you got MVP, you got all us kind of talking, and we're talking as fighters. Like, oh yeah, remember that time, we did that, it was cool, man. It was fine. And he's a stud, and I wish him well in his retirement. I was very happy to hear that he was, coming on set and going to be in the movie. So it's going to be good, man. It's going to be a really, really, really good movie with some really awesome people involved and attached. So you saw some of the other names, Dave Bautista, Peter Sarsgaard, who's a stud, man. So it's going to be cool.
Okay, looking forward to that. For now, looking forward to November 29th, Wintrust Arena in Chicago, weekend of Thanksgiving. Usually there aren't a lot of big events going on in combat sports. You'll get one November 29th exclusively on Fox Nation. Chad Mendez, Money Mendez against Michael Chandler, a dream match of sorts. WEC versus Bellator from back in the day. Love it. Thank you so much, Mike. Good luck in training and good luck in the match.
Yes, sir. Thanks, Ariel. See you at the top.
All the best. There he is, the great Michael Chandler, who also, by the way, has his own YouTube channel right now, Walk on Wisdom, I do believe it's called. And you could check it out right over there. Iron Mike doing his thing. So looking forward to that. Didn't know Batista was in Roadhouse 4, as we're calling it.
Really fleshing out, man. I love it.
The what? Oh, yeah, the cast. Yeah.
Did you say Roadhouse 4?
Oh, yeah, we talked about this earlier. So basically, it's sort of like Izzy versus Pereira, right? There were two old ones. So we're calling it Roadhouse 4.
We don't call them old. We call them classics.
Classics.
Last one was Roadhouse 3. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's...
And when he says we, he means only him exclusively.
Well, it depends on, I think Izzy Pereira is, 3-4.
No, I think we could go back to the tape in 22 and we all refer to it as just Izzy Pereira.
By the way, there was a fight we were just talking about. Why did this come up last week? Where we were like, is this...
I think it was Izzy Pereira.
Who's to check?
Also It was Izzy Pereira.
It sounds like an old man. Like
It is an
off-
old man.
I know, but off
to the side, yeah.
microphone, like that's in the set with.
Yeah.
you.
I bet we could get like 15 drops from Lou from earlier. I didn't even.
Is that a directive right now?
No, but I think he would. At one point, I was wondering if he was going to slap me in the face.
I was walking him out. He's just like, "Did you hear the interview?" I was like, "Yeah, I heard it. Lou. I heard it."
You didn't even need headphones.
Everyone in the office heard it, man.
You gotta love it. All right, one more guest, and then we'll get to more questions, and then we'll call it a day. About what, 6 days ago? 6 days ago. Yes, it was in fact 6 days ago, October 30th in Nashville. DBX, Dirty Boxing, had its official fourth event, fourth and a half, if you count the first one, which was kind of a pilot. We talked about this with Mike on Monday, but the big story was Gable Steveson, obviously national champion, gold medalist. You know the history by now, making his DBX debut. And this was interesting because it's striking only. Can't use your wrestling. Well, it couldn't have gone any better for him in the main event against Billy Swanson. He won via first round KO in just 15 seconds. Here it is. In case you missed it, we could play the whole 15 seconds for you right here and now in a nice bite-sized little clip. Do we have it? There it is. There's Gable, top left. Swanson, bottom right. Dan Miragliotta in the middle. Enjoy. Love the ring, love the setup. Oh, a couple jabs there. Nice little uppercut. Some ground and pound. And that's all she wrote. This is my favorite part, by the way. Oh, we'll show. Yeah, there it is. Come on. We missed it. Oh, and then he's got the guns out and he hugs the great Johnny Bones Jones. Let's talk to the man who we're just talking about, Gable Steveson, who's kind enough to join us here on this Wednesday afternoon. Hello, Gable. How are you?
Great. How are you?
I'm doing great. Congratulations on the win. Did you enjoy that?
Of course. Yeah, man. A big knockout, my first ever. I think that's the hardest I've ever hit anybody. Cool feeling.
Is it weird to just compete for 15 seconds when you're used to, longer matches? You hardly, I don't even think you broke a sweat, to be honest. Maybe the jump was the hardest part of the whole thing. Is that weird for you? Like, did you feel like you had more to let out afterwards?
Of course. I trained for the 5-3 minutes. I wanted to go out there and showcase and kind of take my time. But the way the land worked, and I went out there and scored a big knockout. And who would have ever thought?
Billy tried to make it a little personal in the lead up. Did that bother you?
It's I look at it as it's a guy trying to go out there and showcase who he is. He's gonna say a lot of freaky things and crazy things, and he probably did. But who came out on top? Myself, and that's what matters to me.
Okay, so you didn't feel like it got under your skin or I mean, clearly it all worked out. He was trying to do that. Did it get to the point where you felt like it was personal?
No, it's not personal. I think it's you poke the bear too much and look what happens. I was super motivated. A lot of things that even after the press conference, I went to the gym probably 10 p.m. to midnight. We're all in there just training, having a good time. So definitely burns the fire in me, and I kind of want to go out there and really put it on him even harder after that.
So what's interesting is you say that you're motivated. I'm wondering, because there was no wrestling involved, really for the first time in your life, no grappling involved whatsoever, in an athletic competition like a mano-a-mano fight. Just striking, this is new for you. Were you feeling nervous? Were you feeling at any point like, what have I gotten myself into?
No, not what I've got myself into. I think a lot of it was I was prepared. I wouldn't put myself in this position if I didn't believe that I was prepared to do this. And John, Brandon Gibson, and a lot of other guys were helping me prepare for this. And so, just go out there and have a good time. If you believe in yourself, why not try things that scare you? And definitely staying on the feet is going to scare a lot of people, but that day didn't scare me.
Last time we spoke to you was back in September after the win in LFA, your pro MMA debut, which went obviously very well. How did this come about? Like, for this to be the next move, how did it come about?
I think the main thing is you've seen I didn't throw any strikes my first LFA match. So I wanted to go out there and kind of be like, hey, let's handicap Gable. Let's go out there and kind of show the world that he can be comfortable in the ring, not pull punches, have good head movement. And I think I did a fair enough job to go out there and get the job done. Most definitely there's a lot of things to keep working on, and I'll keep progressing.
DBX, obviously, very new, very young. What did you make of the promotion, the rules, everything that they're trying to do?
It's great. It's new. It's something that a lot of people haven't seen before and still haven't seen. And hopefully after my fight, a lot of people can gravitate to that promotion and kind of go out there and go out there and have a great time themselves. It's ran by John Jones and company and Mike Perry also, the king of violence. So man, it's ran by a great group of people, and I think they're going to keep building it where it can get to arenas and get to a place where a lot of people can see it in, and it's going to be happy to see.
Was this just a one-off for you?
You never know, man. We talked about bringing it to Minneapolis. Minneapolis would be crazy because I'm from Minnesota, and hopefully we can kind of bring it there. But if it's a one-off for me, I feel like I did a great job for them and promoted them well. Went out there and held my head high, put my hands up, and got a big knockout for them.
UFC matchmaker Mick Maynard was there in attendance, ringside. Did you have a chance to talk to him afterwards?
I did talk to Mick. It's cool to go out there. I have one fight, to go out there and have a guy so high up in the UFC come and watch me. It's a blessing. But you want to go out there, and I'm focused before, and I'm focused on the interviews after. I'm focused on meeting people. I'm taking pictures with the kids and kind of showing them that, hey, I'm not a bigger than life person. I'm a guy that you can have an interaction with. And so I talked to Mick, great combo, healthy, and we'll see where it goes from there.
Okay. Any fight offers? Any contracts?
Not that I know of. There might be one that someone's getting ready to call me about right after this interview. So I'll be waiting to pick up the phone.
Tell us about it. Who's that?
Just some nice people that I talked to.
Okay. Well, you see, look, I won't beat around the bush. I had the CEO of the PFL in our studio yesterday, and I said to him, like, if I'm the PFL, if I was running the PFL, I would have offered Gable Steveson a contract last week before this. Like, this is the type of guy that you need in your promotion, and my understanding is that has never happened, and that blows my mind. And so if I'm the UFC, I offer you a contract last week. Are we at the point where we're talking to these big dogs? Because when I asked you after the LFA fight, you said you're taking your time a little bit, maybe another fight for them. Are we at that point now?
I feel like I'm still taking my time. I feel like there's still a lot of things for me to gain being in a lot more fights. I mean, I would love to take my time. I would love to see the landscape of and really kind of go out there and feel myself out and see where I can take this fighting game at. Okay. And PFL is a great thing. UFC is a great thing. Maybe both contracts will hit the table. I'm not sure, but I know where I want to go, and I know where superstardom comes, and I think I can be something big.
Which is where?
Oh man, it could be both. It could be PFL, it could be UFC. But like I said, a superstar comes wherever Gable is. So that's how I like to treat it.
Is there a chance you fight again this year? There's like 2 months left in 2025. You've been active 2 months in the last couple months. 2 fights, in the last couple months. Is there a chance you get one more in this year?
Most definitely. I'm looking at going in hopefully in a few weeks. Again,
wow.
I would love to stay active as possible. I told you this the first time. If I can go out there and keep being active and get used to the ring and get used to being in that cage before I go to the big stage, I would love to do that. And there's going to be guys that are trying to win matchups, and I feel like I have the better foot right now forward, and I want to keep that momentum going. And I think we got really great momentum after that Dirty Boxing match.
Okay, and would that be in MMA?
Yes, it would be.
Okay, fair to assume LFA?
I would love LFA. LFA is great. The best place to go to get to the UFC, to have the most people watch, to have the most people kind of buy into who you are. And I would love to go back to LFA. And if I can get one on their promotion, that'd be great.
By the way, by the time your career is, a consistent thing, and right now this would be your third fight in about 3 months, what would be the ideal weight for you as a heavyweight?
I'm about like 256 right now, 255. I would love to get to 250 and kind of sit there. And if I can get even lower and kind of clean up my stomach and clean up my top half and make it more stronger, I would love to. But I feel like this is just the start of me rebuilding who I am and my body and kind of keeping it healthy. But I would love to go out there and be 250, really solid, and just have that look that people want to be like, wow, like I can watch this guy. He can throw hands, he can wrestle, but also he looks good. And I feel like that's a big thing for just marketability and going out there and having people be like, wow, I want to pay for this guy to watch him fight.
And so obviously you're training with John and Brandon Gibson and those guys in Albuquerque. You're not living in Albuquerque though, right?
No, I live in Minnesota still, but I spend normally a lot of the time in Albuquerque with them. Those are my guys. I love them. I appreciate them. They show me a tremendous amount of love, but home is in Minneapolis. And that's where it probably forever will be.
Okay. So you would never relocate there to train there full time?
Man, I think I probably would. You
Oh.
never know. Right now, I'm not sure, but I do spend a fair amount of time with those guys. But maybe relocation is, if it's needed, it's always going to be necessary.
Do you have a team and a gym that you train with in Minnesota when you're not over there?
Yes, I do. There's a place in Prior Lake. I got a guy named Billy Simon who I've been working with for a couple of years now. Just in a nice low key spot that he has for us. There's partners too, and it's a great atmosphere too with him.
Do you go to the University of Minnesota as well to stay sharp with the wrestling?
Yeah, I still go every day. Tomorrow I'm actually wrestling. Tomorrow I got matches tomorrow.
What does that mean, matches?
Matches with I got a guy named Trent Hilger. He's going to the Bill Farrell for USA Wrestling. He's gonna wrestle this weekend. Try to win his tournament. He's got to go against a guy named Mason Paris, who's a tough opponent. But I'm here to get him ready tomorrow. He's gonna leave tomorrow also, and hopefully he can pull out those wins this weekend.
But this isn't official matches, right? This is you helping him train.
This is just me helping him train.
Okay. Wow. So you're going there on a daily basis. Still back with the team. Are you training with the team as well, with the Golden Gophers?
I like to train with the team because they're in season now, and it kind of gives me the real feel. It makes me feel like I'm always in camp. So I lift with them every day. I wrestle with them almost every day. Condition with them every day, and then in the evening I go and hit pads. I do MMA practice, and then go home, sit in the ice tub, sit in the hot tub, and then and repeat normally every single day.
Wow. Okay, what is John saying to you as far as like your acceleration? Would he like for you to go to the UFC now, or does he like this pace?
He likes his pace. John's big on kind of making things bigger than they should be, and that's what he's trying to do right now. And so he likes his pace. He likes where I'm going. He likes to feel. He likes to look, and he likes the traction that we're getting by doing all these events so quick and keeping this momentum going. So it's crazy to see how fast things are going. I feel like we talked about getting to a big place and over a long period of time, and maybe it might happen faster than we think. But man, I'm thankful for it, and it's a blessing to have a guy like that in my corner.
Do you have a number of fights in mind where you think like, I want to get to this amount of fight? No, sort of like an amateur career, but it's not amateur, obviously, before I go to the big leagues, so to speak. Do you have that in mind?
I think whenever I feel confident enough I feel confident right now. Sorry. I feel very confident right now. I can go in there and battle. But whenever I feel like we are at that time that John looks me in the face and says, hey, now is the time to take that next step. And when he says it, we'll be ready and we'll take it from there. But man, I'm fully confident right now that I can go into a big promotion and kind of make waves. But I'm not at that point, and I don't like to speak too far ahead. But I do see myself being something special.
Do you leave it up to him? Like ultimately, it's going to be his call.
It's his call, but I also think it's my call too. And we have a good transparency on what he thinks is best. But he also listens to a lot of things I say. And he's also really big on, if you want to go ahead and do it, let's do it. And so I think that's where we're at with our relationship. And he'll make the best call and the best business call for me. But I think competitive wise, I think he'll know and I'll know when I'm ready.
By the way, how did you guys link up?
It was just an Instagram DM. Maybe,
really?
2021.
He reached out to you or you to him?
I reached out to him because I was still actively wrestling, and I said, if you were like a wrestling partner, I'm here. I don't mind getting beat up by you. I don't know how to guard or do anything that you may need. Like, I'm a hard worker, and I think he respected that.
Wow. And then he invited you out.
He invited me out. He got injured first, Stipe, and then the second one, he invited me out, and that's how we kind of clicked. And from day one, man, it was a good relationship for sure.
I love that. It's interesting because I don't know how much you pay attention to the heavyweight divisions in the UFC, PFL, etc., but it's probably one of the worst times ever for the heavyweights. And I'm wondering, when you watch these guys, you're like, oh man, just with your wrestling and limited MMA experience alone, I could steamroll through these guys. Do you think that way?
No, I don't think that way. I think there's a lot of great competitors out there. And do I feel that I can compete with them right now? Sure, of course. But I would never go out and say that I can be a negative 1,000 to a champion or something like that. I'm always a guy that's going to look ahead and say, hey, I'm confident in my abilities. I know what I can bring to the table. And when it's time, I will be ready and I will showcase who I am. But for now, I'm a regional fighter that has a platform that's doing well and somehow making waves in the community. So, man, I'll stay humble. I'll stay grounded. And when my time comes, you will see that that new side of me.
Is the dream the White House card? Debut on the White House card?
Man, that'd be lovely. That would be lovely. And I feel like we talked about this last time, but I think the best thing about it is I see John is hungry. And when I'm always around him, I know he has that competitive side in him because he brings it when I'm around. But he's hungry now, and I know he wants to fight. I know he wants that main event, and I know he wants Alex Pereira, and Alex Pereira wants him also. So I think it's a great thing to have John training, myself training with him, a big lead up to the White House card, and maybe we're both on it. But that's perfect world, and the world's never perfect. But if it can work out that way, man, we would love it.
You think it happens? You think him and Alex happens on that card?
Man, I think you need an American guy that is the best of the best, and that's John Jones. He's American. He's a 17-time title defender. Alex Pereira's a dog also, man. He's gonna go out there and battle. But I think John is in a great spot to go out there and put pressure on Alex and beat him and come out with his hand raised in front of the White House, in front of the world watching, and retire from there maybe.
Yeah, it's crazy. I'm pretty sure off the top of my head, there's never been a UFC card that featured 2 Olympic gold medalists on it. There's a very good chance, I feel like, where we could see you and Kayla Harrison on that card in June, and that would be historic.
Man, that'd be super historic. Kayla, she's a dog too. I watched her last fight, man. She's got all of it and then some. So it's cool to see another Olympic gold medalist kind of thriving in this sport. So hopefully I can come out there and we can both be on that card and kind of win for our country and go out there and beat the guy and gal that they put in front of us.
I remember we talked a little bit about Real American Freestyle Wrestling. We just had Chandler on, who's going to be competing for them. What have you seen? Have you seen anything? Have you watched? Do you like what they're doing? What are your thoughts now that they've had a couple events?
I still think it's a great promotion, and it's crazy that Chandler and Chad Mendes are.
Yeah.
And I think it's great for wrestling. I think it's great for RAF. I think it's great for everybody involved. I would love to see a great matchup with Chandler and Mendes, but they haven't wrestled in a long time, and to come out from not wrestling to wrestling, I'm curious to see how they do. But I think I'm gonna go with Michael Chandler on this one. I think Chad Mendes is a great opponent, but I think Michael Chandler just still having that uniqueness, that explosiveness. I think he's gonna pull it off.
Have you talked to them? Have they reached out to you?
Yes, they have.
And any interest?
I'm really not sure. I'm still committed on fighting. They've reached out a fair amount of times, and I've told them, hey, sorry, I'm just trying to get better in this sport that I'm new to. I feel like if I go bounce back and forth, I don't want to get in that path again of bouncing back and forth between things. If it pops up and it looks nice, man, I would do it. But right now, I'm enjoying what I'm doing. I feel like I got a big fire in my stomach to kind of go out there and prove a lot of people wrong, but also prove myself and get to that next stage. And the last time I had this burn was 2021 at the Olympics and 2022 at NCAA season when I was pushing to kind of finish off in the right way. So I got a big burn in me right now, and I'm confident in myself, and I want to keep on this path that I'm going.
Ultimately, you reached the mountaintop in the sport of wrestling on 2 occasions, right? National champion, and so now you've got this new thing. To go back to the old thing probably doesn't make a lot of sense.
I don't want to say that. I think it makes great sense to go out there and keep competing wrestling and keep sharp and keep the lungs open. 2028 is in LA. We put a good thought to what if Gable came back and went out there and won a second gold medal while being high up in a fight promotion and kind of creating an international superstar. So I think it's a great idea, but time will tell that story. And like I said, I don't like to look too far, and I like to stay grounded to where I am.
You're still thinking about that though, right?
I still think about it here and there. It's a how cool moment for me. It would be, hey, no heavyweight has ever won the Olympic twice. You're still young. You can still do it. You still got that fire. You still got that pep in your step. Why not try it? But it's a hypothetical for me. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it's not the end of the world.
All right. Well, you are well on your way. Congrats on the win. Very impressive stuff. By the way, the jump I think might have been my favorite part. That thing looked.
Me too.
Yo, the jump is like effort. Look at this thing. Look at this. It reminded me of Brock.
That's years of playing basketball.
Okay, I didn't know you had some game on the court.
I got some game. I'm looking for a 10-day from the Minnesota Timberwolves. They need a center to back up Rudy Gobert. So
wait, look at that shot, by the way.
This is a great picture.
That's a great
This is a fantastic picture, man. Shout out to our guy Romo. He caught this picture, man. This is a fantastic picture.
Yo, what is your vertical? Do you know?
I actually did it today, and it was like 34.
Wow.
It's crazy.
And then the guns. Who are you shooting, by the way?
So that's Arthur Jones, John Jones' brother, who sadly passed away. Man, may he rest in very good peace, man. He was a great human being. But that was his sack celebration. So
wow, I didn't realize
shout out to
that.
Arthur, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that touched John. Did he realize right away what you were doing?
He realized right away. We talked about it before. He said,
Okay.
"Hey, if you do something crazy, this will be the cherry on the top." And I said, "Man, I got you." I was with Arthur at John's last fight. Many great combos, great human, great person. Man, it's sad to see someone like that go so soon. But
Awful.
you just never know. You just never know who you're gonna see. And I feel like treat everyone with kindness. You never know when someone's day is gonna come.
Amen. Well, congratulations. Well done. Looking forward to the next one. Perhaps we see you back in there sooner rather than later, right? Maybe in the next month or so?
Maybe in the next month. Hopefully, I'm looking for the next month. Just trying to find a place to go, and I will be there.
Thank you, Gable. All the best and congrats.
No, I appreciate it.
There he is, Gable Steveson, victorious now in MMA, victorious in dirty boxing. And I didn't know about that that honor that he was paying to the late great Arthur Jones, former Syracuse Orange, Indianapolis Colt, Baltimore Raven, brother of one John Jones, who shockingly and suddenly passed away just a few weeks ago. So very nice stuff, and that is a really cool photo. So I'm sure something that John and both Gable will cherish. And I like this. He's getting 3 fights in back end of 2025. One being a non-MMA fight, but get active, get some minutes in, some rounds. I mean, the fights aren't lasting very, very long, and that's fine. This is how you build someone up. So I am curious as to how many of these he is going to take before going to probably the UFC. Let's be 100% honest. I'm going to set the line at 5. You guys taking the over, under. So we're now at 2. I'm going to include the DBX. We'll say he has a third fight coming up. That'll be an LFA, I think. I'll set the line at 5. You know what? I'm going to set the line at 4.
Well, give us a half. Give us a half.
Okay,
Yeah.
4.5.
So his fifth
either
fight.
Yeah.
We're
Fifth
about to
fight.
be on third. Fifth fight will be in the UFC. Is what you're saying?
Yeah.
I'm gonna take the over. Yeah, I do not think he does one more and then his next is in UFC.
Yeah, I'll take the over as well.
Yeah, I guess you're right. The question is, do you put him on Contender Series?
No.
I think they would like to do that. They did the same thing with Bo Nickel, but I don't think he's a Contender Series fighter.
I was gonna say it feels like something that they would like to do, but also not only that I don't think he's a Contender Series fighter, I don't know if the schedule would match up. That means he's not joining till what, August?
Well,
forget the schedule.
Who knows what the Contender Series deal is now with Paramount, right?
Forget all that.
I'm forgetting it.
Bo Nickel was a middleweight. That there's plenty of talent that you can see in that division.
True.
Gable Steveson is instantaneously a top 10 heavyweight. As soon as he enters the UFC, you can't put him on Contender Series. Like,
Gable Salsa Boy debut. Book it.
Yeah, you need him there.
Who wins that fight? Who wins that fight?
Stop it.
Gable.
Gable. Isn't that crazy?
No.
I don't know if that's actually true, but I think.
Wait, you don't know that that's true?
Wait, who's the favorite in
I'll
that
give
fight?
you-
Who's the favorite in that fight?
I'll give you plus 1,000 on Salsa Boy right now.
I would imagine Gable Steveson would be the favorite in that fight.
Right now. Like if his
Yes.
Okay, you know what's crazy?
I mean,
okay.
It's like a minus 10,000 in LFA.
Here's a fun game. Tom Aspinall, Gable Steveson. Tom's
Mine?
favorite.
Yeah.
Okay?
For sure.
I want to know how many guys he's the dog against. Gon Steveson.
Favorite, Gable.
I think
What?
he's the underdog to Cyril Gane.
I don't.
I actually feel fairly strongly like
Okay.
Cyril Gane's like a minus 200
the
or
wrestling
something.
advantage would make him.
Maybe even bigger. I mean, he's got zero MMA experience.
Okay,
Yeah, he's got 2.
Okay, so we'll keep going. One's
One's DBX and it's a
Rick
combined
gets
what?
left behind.
15 seconds?
Alexander Volkov.
I think Volkov's probably the favorite in that.
Whoa. Okay, I thought you were off the train at that point. Sergey Pavlovich.
I mean, dude, probably Sergey. We're talking about like the top 5 here.
Yeah, this is
But
what
like,
I'm going
bro,
down.
if we're doing like a Marcin Tybura, then like
Okay,
now I'm
I want to
thinking
know
Gable's
when
gonna be
he
the
when he
favorite.
clocks in. Curtis Blades, that might be a tough one, or maybe not, because what's Curtis going to do? Take him down?
I don't know. I'm still thinking like
How's Gable off his back?
Bo Nickel was a minus 300
He
to
ain't taking
RDR.
down- He ain't taking down Olympic gold medalist Gable Steveson as a youngster. Okay, what about Jalton Almeida?
I think Gable's a favorite over everybody but Tom Aspinall.
I think.
And then the next one is Waldo, by the way. So does he?
I'm biased on the Waldo one. I still think that would be closely lined.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
But then like, who's after Waldo?
Sergey Spivak,
He's a favorite over Sergey Spivak.
Derek Lewis, Antidelia, Ricine type of.
You don't think
Derek Lewis was kind of interesting.
That is a fun one, right? By the way, that is a fun freaking fight.
Also, I don't know shit about making lines.
he's a blue chip prospect. This is not some guy like he's only got 3 fights. Yeah, he's only got 3 fights and an Olympic gold medal. Like he's a freak.
I understand that, but it's about the experience. It's about the experience.
Though. Sure. It's not.
Dude, Bo Nickel was a minus $1 billion in like his first few fights against jobbers, and he rightfully smoked them, and then he was a minus 350 or whatever to RDR and got smoked in that one. Once he got into the elevation, like he just doesn't have enough experience yet.
The gap between, first of all, RDR shocked a lot of people, right? Like I think that might have just been a subject to the matchmaking, not really catching up with where RDR is. But
you're trying to book him against Cyril Gane, and you're telling me he's going to be a favorite.
Yeah,
I don't think so. I'll
take Gable minus plus money against Cyril Gane all day. I'm riding it right to the.
And this is not me doubting Gable's skills.
No. It's a fun. By the way, you would never speak about anyone who's 1-0 essentially in MMA like this.
Yeah,
the line.
That's what makes this so unique.
It's an important reminder. I mean, gambling's obviously like the hot topic of the day. It's also a reminder,
Soup
though.
de jour, as they say.
Yeah.
Who's to check?
I was about to make a serious point, and that cracked me. Betting lines are not who does the bookmaker think is going to win a fight, right? Betting lines are what does the betting public think of this matchup and wanting to get most action on both sides of the line. It is not a reflection of that. So if the betting public has doubts about Gable Steveson, there is a major chance that he's an underdog to these fighters, and that shadowy aspect of doubt about Gable Steveson could definitely result in what Connor's saying. I know
a lot of people that would bet the top
against
5.
him.
All this makes me want is to just see him like.
Well, this is why he can't be on Contender Series.
Who was doing in Bellator? Pat Downey.
Yeah.
He was like a minus 1400.
If you think Gable could even compete with a guy like Gane or Volkov or what, like it doesn't make sense to put him on Contender Series. I also, not for nothing, like the difference between Bo Nickel and Gable Steveson is Gable Steveson is a 250 plus pound man who's throwing heavyweight leather. Like Bo Nickel's hands need to be a lot sharper at middleweight. He needs to be a lot faster. He needs to have more technique. Heavyweight MMA is not that type of thing, right? We've seen it with Brock Lesnar could come in and just steamroll people based on his sheer physicality. Gable Steveson is entirely capable of that just based on that Olympic wrestling pedigree and being a heavyweight, where technique is not as imperative. It is not as important. You can get by on raw power and your wrestling.
By the way, worth reminding everyone, Brock Lesnar, never an Olympic gold medalist, entered the UFC with just 1 fight under his belt.
Yeah,
no amateur.
Fair point. It's a fair point.
And I don't know.
Times are different. No doubt.
He also was a gigantic WWE superstar that was coming over.
He's a freak. He's a physical freak. And Gable Steveson is also that. Let's not get confused about who Gable Steveson is.
I need to see more than the 15 seconds of striking against Swanson.
I get it.
Swanson had to drive up I-85.
By the way, Brock never really developed into a striker. Like the way Brock was striking was very rough, but he was such a freak that
based on what Jalton Almeida was able to do to Volkov, I'm really not liking his chances of stuffing a double leg against Gable Steveson. That's all. That's how I'm seeing.
I'm just happy that we're down this path. Like the football thing was fun. The wrestling, it should have always been this, in my opinion.
Well, he's about to go on a 10-day with the Timberwolves.
That's right. By the way, how tall is Gable Steveson?
He's got to be like 6'1"?
6'1". How is he backing up Rudy Gobert? He's backing up
Uses
freaking
the power.
Whoever
6'1", 35-inch vert.
Big Baby Davis down there. You just put the dumper on him.
6'1", 2. When you break it down like that, like an NBA point guard. What is an NBA point guard?
Like 6'1".
AI was
no,
6'1".
I know, but how much do they like
weight-wise?
What does Jalen Brunson weigh?
Yeah, 160, 70 pounds.
Yeah, he's a little bigger than that.
God,
Jalen?
Gable Steveson would break me.
First of all, I'm not convinced Jalen's over
177.
He would literally take you and go.
Yeah.
All of us.
Crazy.
What a guy. By the way, is Lou still back there or?
No.
I just feel like
Lou was out. He hit the bricks, man. He's got the. I always think you guys are bad with the phone, like tunnel vision.
Oh yeah.
Lou was gone to the world.
Oh yeah.
I was like, you get coffee?
Love it. A couple other items, guys. Speaking of boxers turned fighters turned boxers again, Holly Holm has her next assignment. It was announced this morning that she's going to be on the January 3rd MVP card in Puerto Rico. There you have it against Stephanie Hahn, highly ranked, undefeated fighter for the WBA World Lightweight title. That's 135 pounds. Her second fight back, second fight under the MVP umbrella. This will be the co-main, and by the way, 10 3-minute rounds. No one tell Lou. This will be the co-main to the already announced Amanda Serrano versus Erica Cruz fight. By the way, if you want to see a fun fight just for the hell of seeing a fun fight, watch Amanda Serrano versus Erica Cruz 1 from a couple of years ago at the theater. You'll recall this fight. This was the fight that happened. This was her next fight post Katie, and Katie was in attendance, and they were going to announce the rematch that night. But Erica and Amanda went to war to such an extreme, bloodied up, bruised, cut, that they had to postpone it and change those plans. It was a crazy fight. You guys remember that fight? It was a February, I think February 2023.
I'm pretty sure I was in attendance for it. It was at the Hulu Theater?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was there for that. Shout out.
You were there?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there was a Derek Lewis card going on at the same time.
Yes, I think you're right.
You said February 4th?
I think it was like February 3rd, 4th.
Yeah, 2023.
Or late January, early February. Am I right?
Sure enough, Derek Lewis was headlining against Sergey Spivak that.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. I remember having to. The phone was on as was watching the fights inside the.
Why were you guys
theater.
there?
Did we? I think we just got tickets.
Matchroom or something.
I think someone hooked us up with tickets. It was a fun night though. It was a fun night. Shout out.
I think you bet on the Sky Nicholson fight, right? Wasn't she on that card as well?
Yeah, Sky Nicholson by decision minus 1,000 or something. Didn't they announce Katie Taylor, Amanda Serrano too?
Like she went into the ring.
Yeah.
But it was very clear that Serrano wouldn't have been fit to fight. PFL announcing this morning that they have signed a deal with Vice TV only for, it appears, the MENA, which is Middle East and North Africa events, PFL MENA and PFL Africa. They've got, I think it's two. We have the press release here. There it is. 2 events in December and then 8 more throughout 2026. So there you go. 2 events. MENA Championship December 5th in Saudi. PFL Africa Championship on December 20th in West Africa. And then additional MENA. So it's just MENA in Africa. So some people were confused thinking this is the big, TV deal. No, this is just for their, regional promotions, if you will. And I think, by the way, they'll also have on-demand access to about 50 hours of PFL library fights. I think those were airing on the app. So you would hope that they're getting some kind of rights fee for this. Does anyone watch Vice TV? I feel like Frank might be a Vice TV guy.
I stopped watching it a few years ago.
So you were?
Yeah.
I watched it when I think Fuck That's Delicious used to be on it.
It did.
Delicious, Dark Side of the Ring, Dark Side of the Cage. Frank, what did you like on there?
Frank, you all right, man?
Yeah.
Everything
I'm
okay?
just thinking, yeah.
Oh, okay. Wow. A lot of dead air for an audio guy.
A lot of dead air.
Is everything okay?
No, everything's great.
What's wrong?
Nothing, man. Damn.
Well, I mean,
we're watching Frank unravel in real time.
Jesus, he's
I was just thinking of all the fucked up stuff I used to see on Vice TV.
Wow.
I was deep diving here.
Okay.
Elected, the Mom Donnie story.
Oh, wow.
That's what he was watching.
Jeez.
What, you were watching YouTube documentaries in the middle of the show?
Yeah.
Look, man, you do your thing, I do mine.
All right. How about some super chats, guys?
Super chats.
Frank, you want to read them or
Yeah,
you need a
yeah.
break? I don't know. Do you need a moist towelette or something?
Hey, so no Jake Paul fight. Maybe you guys doing something fan related next week?
Truth be told, was bandied about. Just feels like there's not enough time. What do you guys think?
Who's to check?
I knew that would be a winner.
Let's do a Fight Day 5K, but not have a place to meet up at. So we just run around the city, and
then we all do it on that app.
Yeah, Strava. Shout out.
Yeah, shout out.
Yeah. If you come across anyone in the On Crime group,
should we do like an unofficial one? You remember we did one with the Ringer boys?
Oh yeah.
Should we do that?
Time.
Where was that again?
It was at that Irish bar.
It was
on the upper
Oh, you mean
story.
just gather somewhere?
I turned down announcing James Cook being drafted to the Buffalo Bills for that.
Yeah,
And
that was
you-
what an
Insane
error.
work.
What a
What a memory.
colossal error
Insane
that
work.
was.
Yeah.
You're saying just like
Hey
pick
guys,
a spot and
we're gonna be at this
we're
spot.
gonna be here.
Yeah. Let's ask the chat. Chat, how many of you guys are gonna be in town?
Oh no, this is opening up.
How many of you guys are gonna be in?
You guys
town?
gotta let me know how this goes.
You're not coming?
Oh, I can.
You're a man of the people.
I'm busy. Gotta get ready for the fight day 5K.
It's just gonna be Ariel. All right, good luck.
All right, well, guys, I tried. I'm sorry, I tried. I thought maybe we'd go. What is that place called? Jack Dempsey's.
Shout out Dempsey's.
That is it. JD's.
Yeah. So
Who the fuck is we?
yeah, no, I thought we would want to go, but I guess not.
I'm down.
I'm down.
That one is a timely one, by the way. The drop because it's about Chandler and and Poirier.
Yeah, but they're
almost
buds
pushed
now.
it while Chandler was
They're-
on.
they're-
We were
Oh,
talking
my
about
God.
him mending fences.
I was thinking of that.
They're friends now.
Top 3 job all time.
Yeah, because Chandler's like, yeah, we're all good, and then it would have been.
Who the fuck is
Yeah,
we?
he's like, wait, is Dustin here?
What else, Frankie? What else?
For the record, DJ poked Benavidez in the eye. Brent Brookhouse wrote about it. Folks tweeted about it or blue skied about it. UFC 152.
Ooh. All right, let's see. Demetrius Johnson. I mean, the great.
I'm gonna assume he's correct here. I'm gonna.
No, I want to
go
see
out
for
on a limb.
myself. Joseph Benavidez, eye poke. I remember that one. UFC 152 was in Toronto. The T dot. Oh. Referee Yves Levine told Benavidez to continue and said that he didn't see an eye poke. So technically, there wasn't an official call, but discusses why he didn't call eye poke in UFC 152 bout. Wow, interview with Yves Levine? Crazy. What a time. So seems like a little comme ci, comme ça. What else, Frank? What else?
For everyone, what fighter winning the belt would give a Cinderella story type of vibe? For example, Pantoja, Charles, and Leon. Shout out James Cook and Josh Allen.
Well, I mean, I think those are 3 really good ones, to be honest. By the way, I'm reading the play-by-play for this event. It says Benavidez says he got poked in the eye, but the referee said he didn't see it. So I don't think it's fair to DJ, to be honest. Who else? Pantoja, Leon. I think those are like 2 of the more emotional ones. Tommy and his dad, even though it was the interim belt. That was something.
I think he's asking for like who's next. Who's the one that's gonna really tug at the heartstring?
Oh, I apologize. Gosh.
I don't think it quite hits the same, but God, Josh Van winning would be pretty incredible in the time frame that he was able to do it at the age he was able to do it.
Buying mom the house and everything.
Yeah, he's got a great story. Josh Van would be high up there for me at the moment.
Not bad.
All right, we'll go with Josh. Pride of Myanmar. What else, Frank? What else?
I don't normally single people out for praise, but I have to state that Mysterious Frank's work ethic and drive and excellence inspires me to be better.
Wow.
I'm
We
glad
found
it
the
helped
burner.
somebody, Duncan.
I was gonna say
Both of you laughing through it is the best part.
Yeah.
I saw work ethic. I just damn.
Frank's full name is
Duncan.
Franklin Duncan Lenz.
What a name, by the way.
It's fucking crazy. Try to be a little bit more mysterious next time.
By the way, is your full name Franklin?
No.
Oh.
No, nor is it Frankie. It's just Frank.
It's like knowing a Jake that their real name isn't Jacob.
Yeah, no. Franklin is a great name, though.
I mean, for Franklins, yeah, they can have it, but I'm Frank.
Isn't it nice to get that type of recognition?
I think it's great.
Yeah.
I think it's great that anytime someone says something positive about me, you guys just all insinuate that I was just saying it about myself. So,
Oh.
you know what?
Sorry.
I could take the high road here, but fuck you.
What have you been watching on Vice lately, man?
Yeah. You're killing Andy. What else, Frank? What else?
Could have spoken any language, and he decided to speak facts. I think this is in reference to Lou.
It was in reference to
Lou
Lou
is
about
like,
the
best
women's.
is like, he's talking here, he's talking there. I'm like, Lou, can he just? I'm
Then
just
he
trying
backed
to.
up.
He backed up.
Then he
He's
kicked
talking.
the cable that almost.
What do we need another minute for? It's fucking bullshit.
I love when you ask him a question. He's like, "What do you think?" Like,
This is.
Big Lou looking svelte too. And also the funniest thing is he's screaming like a madman into the microphone, and then when you single shot him, he's like smiling through it. It's fucking bullshit.
he's like, "Oh yeah, I had words
Thanks,
with that
Lou.
person. I got loud."
Appreciate you, man.
I love him. I can't
great.
get it up. Like even when he's yelling at me, I'm like, this is so much fun.
Looks good too, man. Shout out to him.
Yo, I was once in my tiny Upper East Side apartment watching the UFC, 71 weigh-ins, and I'm like, wow, Sports Center. SportsCenter's talking about the UFC weigh-ins, and there's Joe Rogan and Lou DiBella going toe-to-toe in one of the all-time classic SportsCenter moments and MMA moments, and now the dude is like yelling at me in my studio. Pinch me.
It's amazing.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. What a character. I don't agree with everything he says, obviously, but yeah, and then at one point he's like this. He's like talking like this. It's like right there. Just talk here. Why are you talking like this?
He's an animated guy.
Oh my dear. Wow, amazing. Anyway, what else? What else?
Follow up on that. Need to have Lou and Polly on more often. Love this.
You know what? I don't mind. I don't mind contentious interviews as long as they don't get personal and there's, like.
Well, the other thing about them is those two in particular is it is a conversation, right? Even though they're very animated, it's not just screaming for the sake of screaming. They are actually listening and volleying and trying to like have a debate, even though it's New York amplified to 15. They are having a conversation with you, which I think is amazing.
I love it. I love it. I get genuinely excited for those types of interviews. What else, Frankie? What else?
Watch the Oscar De La Hoya interview again. One of the best. Looking forward to see how you're going to top that.
Wow, Sammy. Thank you so much. What's 50 again in the SEK?
It's a good amount.
Yeah.
Swedish krone.
Yeah.
Sammy always got something good to say, man.
Yeah, shout out Sammy.
Always positive.
Just always positivity out of that
Much
guy.
love.
I love him.
Personally, my favorite.
Oh, yeah.
We love Sammy.
Yeah.
We're sending
respect
love to Sammy.
Respect.
What else, Frankie? What else?
Have you and Bonani?
Golly.
The screen literally switched.
Bomani. Yes.
Jones crossed paths. Believe he's with Yahoo Sports now.
I actually don't think he's with Yahoo Sports. No. Yes, that would be a great.
I'm struggling here.
I don't think he's with Yahoo Sports.
I looked it up. I don't believe he is.
He has a podcast under the Wave Sports Network, and has been in the business for a long time. And truth be told, we did cross paths twice before. We were actually both at SB Nation at the same time before they even started the parent company Vox. Right when they bought MMA Fighting and we came over from AOL, they started to really get into the video business, and yeah, we were in some brainstorming meetings together. I was sitting right next to him. We kind of just did our own thing. We weren't friends really at all. Like just talked a little bit, and then interestingly enough, in the build up to Maymac, there was a period of time where people were saying that Conor was being racist with some of the things that he said. And I remember after one of the media tours, there was that 4-stop tour. After one of them, I asked Conor about this, and I remember Bomani quote tweeting my interview saying that like the questions were stupid or something like that. And I was like, oh, okay, interesting. And then I was at ESPN at the same time as him, and I would see him at the South Street Seaport. But it was just like, hello, how are you? And that's it. No real interactions. So that's it. It doesn't mean that we can't do an interview or something like that now. I don't really know what we would do an interview about, but I appreciate it. And I don't think he's at Yahoo, so there's no real synergy there. What else, Frankie? What else?
How possible do you see a top fighter that is not popular throw a fight? Given high ranked doesn't equal rich, Gons showing V. John is being questioned.
No. I mean,
it's
not
the
every
top
one-sided.
guys. It's going to be nearly impossible to do because the focus is like the point of this, and the reason why it makes sense that the speculation would be around Isaac Bulgarian and fights like that is because it's easier to get to those guys. There's less money that they're being paid. I would be shocked if there was a main event that it happened to. Now, I'm not saying it's impossible, but it just seems so unlikely. It seems so unlikely.
I agree. It's really about the guys who are making, the entry level type of money, and those guys aren't. What else, Frankie? What else?
Can someone get a count on how many ultimately's Mark Montoya used yesterday?
All right, so if you go back to the video on the transcript, it says 13, but
seriously, there's a transcript.
Yeah, there's a transcript on every.
Oh wow!
Ultimately, it was a valiant effort, but I will not be dethroned, and ultimately, I remain the king of ultimately's. I'm
gonna actually guess that the transcript is off, and there's far more ultimately's.
Well,
I think he broke the counting system.
I still reign supreme.
It feels like it's like word of the week here at Uncrowned. Feels like everyone's using it.
Ultimately, it is.
Michael Chandler was using it. You've been using it. Rick, now I'm using it.
I don't want to say I'm
the Ultimately Fighting Championship.
I don't want to say I'm a trendsetter, but
you are.
The proof is in the pudding.
Ultimately,
the proof is in the pudding.
Rick being the king.
At the end of the day.
This last chat says, most delusional take of the year award goes to Rick, saying Gable would be a favorite against Gane.
Wow.
Yeah. I think that fight would be pretty damn easy.
I can understand why you'd say no to that, but pretty much everyone after that, I would classify him as the favorite, to be honest.
I mean, just for reference, like, let's look at Bo Nickel. Bo Nickel against Paul Craig, many fight UFC veteran. What number? I forget what fight that was, like 4 or 5 for Bo Nickel.
It's actually pronounced Craig.
Oh, sorry, I don't have that pronunciation. Minus 910. Yeah. Rainier de Ritter, minus 205. Like, we have to stop pretending that the lines are set based on like, well, he's just like making his debut. They factor in the fact that he is a blue chip prospect, and Cyril Gane's deficiency is in stopping takedowns. Like, it'd be stupid for them to give away money by being like, well, he's only fought 4 times, and it just doesn't work that way. They have to anticipate the skill set. They have to anticipate that his best quality is Cyril Gane's worst, and that's just how that goes. But if he's a dog, it will be pretty slight, I would imagine, in a matchup like that.
I do see 2 other ones here, Frank. Reserved for Hell writes, has everyone completely written off Brandon Moreno? He gave Pantoja his hardest fight. 2 of 3 losses weren't in the UFC. No, but he had a lot of opportunities for the belt, so I think there's a desire to see some new blood. But no, he's still very much in the mix. And Moving Through the Dark writes, this is truly the moment I have been waiting for. I think you just wanted to get that one in there.
This is truly the moment I have been waiting for.
Also, 2 of the 3 losses to Pantoja were in UFC, and then 1 was on The Ultimate Fighter.
Right. Let me get to a few other questions real quick, just so I don't piss off everyone, because there were a lot on Substack. This is from Clay. For New York Rick, mostly listening to AH show during the week, but empty of podcasts on the weekend. Can you update us on what you're currently listening to and a few favorites from the last few years?
I sure can. From the podcast king himself. So, in my rotation, The Big Picture, very high. Movie podcast from The Ringer, fantastic listen. Also, The Watch. Oh, man, there's a lot of Ringer on here. Zach Lowe Show, The Watch, Ringerverse. Shout out to the Midnight Boys. Simmons. Happy, Sad, Confused, a great movie podcast by an interviewer named Josh Horowitz. Rewatchables also with The Ringer. Comedy Bang Bang, always a staple. Mind the Game. Mind the Game is back with LeBron and Steve Nash. They had Steph Curry on yesterday's episode, or maybe even today's episode. Really, really good stuff.
Is it good?
Yeah. I did not like JJ and LeBron. I really like the Steve Nash and LeBron version. Okay. It just JJ and LeBron felt like 2 guys just being like, basketball's so cool, man. Yeah, and it was just like that. Steve actually knows how to like kind of guide the conversation better. Pablo Torre fans out. Obviously, that came up earlier today. Some great investigative journalism on that one. Smartless is a great one. Lots of good interviews there. Yeah, check out those.
All right, that's a good list. GC, what about your list? No, I'm kidding. Jordan. Jordan says, hey, Ariel and the boys, what is your go-to cheat meal? It almost suggests that like we're like, we're crazy workout guys. Yeah. But like what, like Sundays, I like to go crazy. I guess like it's like the thing that isn't really good for you, but you just love.
Just say, fuck it for, yeah.
To me, it's probably pizza. Like I could eat a full like large pizza and just be a pig and shit. Now, in my later years, it doesn't quite sit the same way.
Oh, yeah.
Does
it matter what time?
The tummy rumbles a little bit.
I feel you.
I'll never forget this scene.
Shit story.
No. I'll never forget this scene. This is like if you want to know. So I've told you about Domino's back in the day, Sunday night at my house, the olives and the pineapple and all that. That was it. That was the order. Like I think about it and I feel it. I feel it right here.
I had fast food pizza with olives and pineapples on it. Why does my stomach hurt?
I've heard you say that I feel it right here thing a billion times. I don't actually understand what that is. I don't know what that means.
What
taste
do
it.
you feel?
I
What is
taste-
here?
I
feels full,
I could
right?
literally
when you eat
taste
food,
it.
it's here.
Yes.
That's
It comes to my
literally
throat.
Still don't know what this is.
I taste it. I can hear the NFL countdown music where I could see us eating. It's like it's right there. Yes. Oh, take me back. It was the perfect antidote. It was the perfect antidote to the Sunday blues. It was like, oh, Sunday night countdown or NBA on NBC.
Did you have a relationship with the Domino's guy? Like, was it the
No,
same?
but it
Like
was legendary.
Every Sunday?
It was the and also my mom was a big believer in never ordering food. Like it was the only time we ever ordered food. It
she's
was
always
Sunday
cooking,
pizza.
and this was
Everything.
your one.
This is the one
Okay.
treat, and it was Sunday Domino's.
Yeah.
For me, it was green olives and pineapple. And so here's how it affected me. My first job out of college, 2004 to 2005, I'm working as a production assistant at HBO Sports. I have a visa because when you go to school in the United States, you get, and you're a non-American, you're a foreigner, you get a 1-year visa. It's either called an OPT or a CPT. I forget which one's which. One is for an internship while you're in school, and then one's for the year after you graduate to work in the industry that you studied in. And so I think it was OPT. And so I get this 1-year visa.
I think it's actually CPT.
Damn it. Okay, so it's CPT. And so you're doing this for a year, and then you hope that someone's gonna sponsor you and get you the H-1B visa, and you're well on your way. And so my year is coming to an end, and I go to a meeting with my boss, Brian Hyland, love the guy, and he's like, "We love you, kid." He's like one of those like old school New Yorkers. You're gonna stick around. You're gonna work on the Costas show. You're gonna work on Real Sports, documentaries. Like you're in. And I'm thinking, all right, this is my career. This is my life. I'm gonna be working in production at HBO. And I was so happy because I was nervous that, if they said, we're not going to offer you something, I had to go back to Montreal. I was very, very nervous. So that was such a relief. It was such a great feeling. And so what did I do? I went to my apartment, 61st in York, in Manhattan, sat down, my tiny studio, ordered a Domino's pizza, olives and pineapple, a large for myself. And I remember sitting there thinking like, I made it. This is it. This is the dream. I'm living in New York. I just got a full-time job from HBO Sports. I'm having Domino's pizza by myself, the whole large. I don't have to share this with anyone. Olives and pineapple. Now, the olives were like not quite the green that I liked, a little more Kalamata than fully green, but it was the closest that I could get to that Sunday night eating Domino's and watching NFL Countdown or the NBA on NBC, depending on the time of year. It was great vibes. 2 days later, by the way, I was called back into his office and he said that HR wasn't going to sponsor my visa and that I had to leave by the end of the month. So it didn't quite work out the way.
Tough.
Yeah, it didn't work out. But you know what? Look how it all turned out.
Do you think
right?
the pineapple being eaten after dinner technically is what did it?
No. But it was a nice memory. Anyway, Gavriel, Shalom Ariel, New Gout Rick, Connor, what? Berksaki and the whole crew. I don't know what that is.
I think the Berksaki is maybe like a reference to like Guram, like trying to make it Russian.
Got it. Okay, fair enough. Been a long time listener. I still don't know some of the Helwani lingo. Why is giving yourself a pat on the back called the old Barry H? Barry Horowitz was a WWF jobber, and his thing was like when they would say, and his opponent weighing 265 pounds, Barry Horowitz, and he would turn around and give himself a pat on the back, and his tights also had like a fingerprint on them, and so to me, it's like you're giving yourself a pat on the back. It's the old Barry H in honor of the great Barry Horowitz.
Did want to clarify, it is in reference to the referee that I look like, Lucas Bosacki.
Ah, there it is.
Berksaki. My struggle to remember that guy's name is next level.
Sorry, I got it.
Lucas Bosacki.
got
Lucas
it locked up
Bosacki.
here.
I did get a lot of messages regarding my revelation that I felt like I got sick after getting the flu shot. A lot of messages about this. And all to just say, like, I believe in this stuff. I just felt really crappy afterwards. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm self-diagnosing myself. I'm not out here trying to deter you or not deter you to get a flu shot. It's just...
Yo, Frank's been on fire today. I gotta say, Frank, this is a better day for Frank. Other than that moment where he froze randomly and everybody was like, "What the fuck's
Frank,
going on?"
do you want me to read one? Would you like me to read one?
Please.
Is it? Oh, it's about the flu shot.
No, I don't want you to read them. Please, please do not.
Okay, I just want to tell you.
No.
It's from GC's newly straight roommate. You don't want it?
No.
Okay.
No, I like
don't
this.
think- I
AVA
don't
is
think
here,
we
baby.
need- I don't think
Anti-vax
we need
Ariel. Got
vaccine
his vote in
corner.
for
I
Sliwa
don't
last
think
night,
we
and
need
now we're
vaccine.
talking jabs, baby. Let's do it.
No.
Shout out to.
Well, ivermectin.
Oh yeah.
No.
I even
don't
posted-
wanna go this
By the way,
way.
I even posted something in support of Joe Rogan last night on my social
I
media.
love
It's
it.
all coming
It's
together.
all coming together, baby. AVA.
All right, fine. I'll skip it. I'll skip it.
I think you made a great statement there. You support everybody's decisions to make their own choices.
Peace
It's
and
great.
love. Peace and love. Come on, Frankie. That was a good excuse to no.
Come on, man. I'm in control of the button.
GC, blind rank these 5 performances.
Oh yeah.
Volk versus Holloway 3.
That was an ass beating 2. I'll put that in number 2.
Garbrandt Cruz.
Wow, this was like I've only watched it on a replay, but man, the way that people talk about Garbrandt that night.
McGregor Alvarez.
I'll do 3 for that. McGregor Alvarez, double champ, 1.
Holloway Cater.
This was like right on the cusp when he landed like 400 significant strikes. 4. And then what's
Hamza
5?
DDP.
Yeah, 5. I actually
That's
don't
a
mind that
good
list.
rank.
I don't mind that list.
No, you did good, GC.
Hamza came out with a picture of his back today that
If you're a fan,
is frightening.
oh yeah,
205. Here we come.
If you're a fan from the era though, I feel like there are a lot that would rank Garbrandt Cruz 1. I think there are a lot that would.
Oh, it was amazing. I mean, once he broke out like the freaking robot
on him,
it was,
yeah,
jeez, look.
it was a
Yeah,
wrap.
that's when like a dude's in a flow state.
MBE 28. Hello, Ariel and gang. This is a fun one. Quick question for you: which one's worse, a fair weather fan or a bandwagon fan? It's a really good question.
Interesting. Yeah.
I feel like bandwagons are not as bad.
Oh, I was
like-
gonna say I think bandwagons are worse.
Really?
Okay.
Because you're just jumping on whoever's good, whereas like
But fair weather, like you're
but
on and off.
I'm a fair weather Hawks fan.
Come with me on this.
How many 8 seed play-in
Yeah.
tournament seasons where they just end up doing nothing can you watch?
But
if they were like the 1 seed, I would be watching.
But bandwagon fans are almost like wallpaper. Like to me, like I don't even consider them real fans. We don't really acknowledge them. They're kind of just there. Whereas a fair weather fan, it's like you're faking the investment and then you switch it. I feel like there's more. It's more annoying to me because I notice it as opposed to like a somebody who's just like jumping on the bandwagon. I'm just like, yeah, they weren't here. We don't count them. We don't count them over there.
I think look, I hate here's I'll tell you the fan that I hate the most. It's not the fair weather.
Yeah,
it's not the
Dodgers.
bandwagon. No, it's by the way, there's
James Tuhuna?
Do you guys know that there's a Dodgers account that's going after me?
Yeah, no shit.
hell
It
yeah.
should be.
Hell yeah.
You know about this?
No, I don't know anything about this.
Yo, this
Put 'em
I
on
don't
blast.
I don't think I've seen a single Dodgers thing since they won the World Series.
this dude clipped off me saying that they look like jackasses. And it has
Is the-
200K views right now, and someone just
Aye.
sent it to me like,
Is
And
the
I-
Dodgers
I s-
play-by-play guy coming after your neck yet?
listen,
What's his name? Joe Pesci?
nah, I don't know what his name is, Joe Jabroni. Listen.
I actually like this commentary.
These dudes, it's fine. It's fine. Listen, I'm telling you that I'm bitter. I'm telling you that I'm bitter, but I'm also 100% accurate with everything I'm saying. I don't even know how this came up.
I'm unbiased. I'm just bitter about
They
it.
acted like jackasses.
You said these
he
are the
shouldn't have hosted the parade. Shall I go into all of this all over again?
You
No.
said these are the
What's-
fans I hate, and then I joked that it was Dodger fans.
The gatekeeping fans. Where were you? Where were you when we were, 2-14? Where were you when we were 17? No, fuck that, man.
Okay, so then you support the bandwagoners. You're okay with them jumping on.
Be what you want to be.
My favorite is when they talk about the Lakers, and it's just like, I had to watch this Lakers lineup.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It's like the 2012 Lakers or
Smush.
whatever it was when they were just terrible, when they were
Knicks,
just god-awful.
The Knicks. Everyone's like,
Well, my thing with the Lakers is that it's like, oh, okay, you had to suffer through that after winning 5 titles in the 2000s. It's like, you'll be okay.
oh, that
You'll
one
be
too.
okay.
Oh, yes, there's that one too when they said, yes. There's also like,
I had to
if
watch
you
the
weren't watching,
2014 Lakers. It's
Right.
like, yeah, you also got to see 5 chips and Kobe and Shaq.
relax. And then it's like, if you weren't at home on a Sunday watching this, you don't deserve to be. Nah, get out of here.
I have so many friends like that. Like when the Eagles were bad, back when we worked at ESPN, I had a dude who threw like a temper tantrum in the office. I was like, hey, man, just calm down. The team's just not that good. You got to accept it. He's like, nah, real fans get mad at every game. I was like, okay.
No, they don't.
You just let it ride, man.
No, they really don't. And like, there's no honor. The Bills were horrible when my kids were super young, right? Like when my son was 1, 2. You think I was going to spend a Sunday watching a shitty team led by Nathan Peterman? Like, I was aware of what was going on. I ain't watching that. They didn't
so
care.
you're like me with the Hawks. You support from afar.
I support.
Yeah.
But when the team is shit, they're shit.
Yeah, waste your time on it.
Yeah, what is that?
What am I going to do? Sit here and watch all 82 games when I know it's going to be a play-in game loss?
I went to Bills Jets in September, and I'm like, I'm sorry, but I'm like, these people are losers. What are they doing here?
Wow.
What are they doing? I'm sorry.
You're the guy that drives by the Halloween party. It's like a grown man dressing up in a costume. I got to go
What are you doing
invest
here?
in real estate.
You're about to get walloped. Why are you here?
Okay, I'll make the argument.
how great that was.
I'll make the argument. Going to the game is different. Like going to the game is fun.
worse.
You do it with your friends. I don't think it's worse. I think it's worse too.
Pain in the ass to go to
sit
the
on your
game.
ass for 4 hours and watch your team lose 31-10.
That's pretty damn bad too.
Going to the game is fun though. It's an event. It's
Such
an
a pain in
activity.
the ass with the parking and the driving.
And sometimes New Yorkers just don't seem to mind pains in the ass. I do stuff around this city. I'm like, God, it was a pain in the ass. They're like, New York, baby, greatest city on earth. I'm like,
it's true.
It's true.
Mikey Z says, what is the origin of Frank's drops? Was it his idea or was it a collective thing? Do you want to tell the truth, Frank, or do you want to...
Yeah, I'll tell the truth. I'll see if you remember. You were struggling to say Jasmine.
Jazz the busiest.
Was that the first one?
So one time I took it upon myself to just make it into a drop.
I remember this.
That is so not true.
I think Frank, I remember Ariel holding Frank at gunpoint and being like, have you ever seen the Howard Stern show?
Thank you.
Then after I did
He
that,
would take the
you asked
tapes
if
and he'd
we
put
could do
them into
more
the
of it.
machine.
Fred Norris.
He would take the tapes.
And he would do it. The crazy thing is that he would do it faster than Frank presses the button.
And he had 887 drops available to him at any moment.
Like peace and love is straight from Howard Stern. He would have dropped it when I just said it. He would have dropped it.
That's fucking bullshit.
Was Jasmine the first one though?
That was the first one.
Wow.
Seriously.
Then you started to ask if we could do more.
Yes.
And then we just grew for there. I personally like it.
Jasmine's had a large impact on this show.
Amit asks, what's our favorite
Meat?
type of...
Just
Amit. No, Amit. He asks...
Amit.
Amit, what's our favorite kind of curry?
Ooh, like a yellow
Penang.
curry with...
I don't know
like,
the difference
Penang,
between...
the brownish yellowish one.
I just kind of hope for the best. Like, I don't know the differences.
I like a sweet and spicy, but I like spice so much that like a really hot green is where I'm at. Like, give me the hot.
I like
hot green.
there's like a yellowy
Thai?
orange one.
Yeah.
The Penang.
Whatever that is, the yellow.
That's the nice.
With
Massaman with
I had
rice,
a butter
potato
chicken
massaman.
recently with the sauce butter chicken. You ever had butter chicken?
Of course, yeah.
Same with some naan bread.
Now we're just going in.
Hey, man, you ever-
sauced meat. We're not even doing.
You ever
curries
had
anymore.
a cheeseburger before?
Oh, well, actually, perfect segue. GC, blind rank these 6 condiments.
6 is we're getting egregious here. Also, the funniest part is I've eaten butter chicken with you before at the Shoom in Manchester.
Oh, that was a great meal without it. That was a great meal without it. Oh my God, that was a great meal. Yeah. I remember that.
All right, here we go. Condiments.
Honey mustard.
Ooh, 3.
BBQ sauce.
4.
Ranch.
Fuck. 5.
Hot sauce.
1.
Ketchup.
6.
Mayo.
2. I'm okay with that.
Okay.
I'm all right
By
with
the way,
that.
the fact that you remember the numbers without writing it down.
I'm pretty happy with that one.
All right. Well, there you go.
I'd probably go honey mustard 2 instead of mayo, but I'm happy with that.
Ranch so low though.
Ranch is a 6.
I'm okay. Ketchup to me is just plain Jane.
Ali Frazier asks, Frank, did you watch Tuesday's final of GBBO?
No, I didn't. I didn't watch at all.
What is
of this
GBBO?
Great British Bake Off.
Really?
I had been watching it.
Where do you watch this?
Netflix.
What are you shaming him for watching the Great British Bake Off?
No.
Heard of Netflix
I
before?
just
You ever heard of that
I
one?
thought it was like some sort of sci-fi. I don't know. It's
What
like
is that?
On the old big Netflix.
I'll put it this way. I got tired of watching it, so I stopped watching. I told my wife, I was like, you can go ahead and watch it on your own.
A gasp from Andy for that one.
Is she a fan?
Huge.
Oh wow!
Big fan.
I didn't
Oh,
realize
that's
this was the thing. I didn't realize this was.
It helps
the
if
thing.
you push the button, Andy.
Yeah.
Oh, listen, I was. It wasn't working.
That was hefty from you there. Good. It's a Great British Bake Off. Really?
Yeah, I thought it was going to be something more like
Bake Off.
It's a whole
edgy.
movement, dude.
I got it. I didn't know. It's like
tired.
challenge.
It's overdone.
Shout out to the challenge. Is that still going on?
Barry asks,
great.
just watch Kingdom after the great Paul Hauser interview. Have yous all watched it, and what did you think of it? 10 out of 10 for me. I reckon the MMA reporter Mario is based on Ariel. I've been told this. I've never actually seen it. Anyone see it?
I saw an episode, but I did not watch the series.
I've only seen his Atlanta Olympics movie.
Oh, yeah. No, people love that. Okay, a couple more. Mikey T, what was worse than the World Series for a Blue Jays fan? The ball getting stuck under the wall or Bichette getting replaced for IKF? Both could be argued as the turning point of the series, or are the Dodgers that good? Well, they took Bichette out, which I didn't agree with. You can't take him out because you're going to need him later on, but they took him out in that particular moment because he can hardly run. He had a bum knee. Obviously, I would have loved to have him later on, but we didn't think that it was going to go, 10, 11. When they took him out, I did tell my friends, I don't like this because we made this mistake on Monday with the 18-inning game when they took Bichette out, they took Alejandro Kirk out, et cetera, et cetera. The ball getting lodged is shitty, but they were not tied and they weren't up at that time. So IKF getting out by a spike will be something that will be very hard to swallow for a very long time. One more. Senor Begotes. Does Mark Montoya give Josh Fabia vibes to anyone but me? The whole life coach and nebulously talking about God. Maybe not exactly, but much like Moneyberg, he sure had a lot of automatic responses to some possible criticisms. Am I the only one who noticed that? To be honest, no. I mean, Mark Montoya is a very respected and well-accomplished he's a very well-accomplished coach and respected and has never been tied to anything like this in the past. Those other guys are not Montoya. They're more grifters than anything. And his resume speaks for itself. He's had some of the best fighters in the world training out of his gym, and he helped make them into some of the best fighters in the world. I don't think that's fair to him. If anything, we're talking about these, words being repeated and whatnot. That's, to me, I chalk that up more to just being maybe nervous, doesn't do a lot of interviews, anxious, stuff like that. So I do not think that's fair, and that did not come to mind as I was talking to him or in the aftermath. All right. Tomorrow, BITB. Thank you to everyone who sent in questions. arielhelwani.substack.com is the place. 415-SUP-BITB. Place to leave voicemails for tomorrow's.
Yeah, leave us some good ones.
Yeah, we need a little bit of an uptick in the quality.
Maybe we only choose like 10 or 15.
Yeah,
make them good
25.
though. Make them good.
Yeah, it's a lot to ask though. It's a lot to ask. Great show.
What do we got? In terms of the show, nothing.
That's a great question.
You're gonna have to watch it.
All right, I like it. Old
That's a
school
tease for you. That's a tease
breakdown
for you.
of Brown Bonfemme.
Yes, that will happen.
Yeah.
Both
Okay.
Bonfemme brothers.
Yes,
actually
right.
on the card. We've
Gabriel,
lost a couple
Ishmael.
people. We'll get into that.
Okay.
Yeah. Breakdown of the card. Maybe talk a little bit more about this gambling story.
And
pound for
maybe
pound.
a little chatter on Sean Strickland's return. He did post on his story that his suspension is almost up. Thank baby Jesus. And I do want to give a special shout out to MMA media member Spinning Back Dick.
Yep.
Who asked him, or more like just said, it appears, MVP next.
Replied to Sean Strickland on Threads.
Oh,
Didn't know
shout out.
Strickland was on Threads like that. Looks like the engagement's a little bit lower than over on his Twitter. But yeah, shout out to SBD, man. Big
exclusively on Threads.
Yep.
Place to be for all your MMA
We
news.
actually scoured the internet for like 30 minutes trying to find this, and then shout out to Dano over here. He was like, it's on Threads.
Hell yeah.
I was like, hell yeah. You always got to check Threads.
And he says it's going to be Fluffy Hernandez, which, by the way, I think I said that I like that idea post RDR, the RDR loss when we were breaking it down.
I believe he said in an interview a few weeks ago that he wanted to fight Fluffy and then Hamzat and then beat DDP again.
All right. Comeback season upon us for Mr. Sean Strickland. Okay, time to go. Thank you very much to everyone. I'm actually off to Toronto myself, guys. The T-Dot.
What's the occasion?
I'm going to meet with my friends over at the CBC, the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation, as we gear up for the 2026 Winter Olympic Games. It's actually called Milano Cortina 2026. And I will be in neither of those places. But I'm excited to go back to Toronto. I'm going to go to Danny's Pizza Tavern. You guys familiar with Danny's Pizza Tavern?
The one with the whale.
The dolphin.
It's a whale.
I think it's a dolphin.
think it's a web.
Anyway, my friend owns it, and it's phenomenal pizza. And they do have. I made a special request for green olives and pineapple. So I will be there, and I'm looking forward to it. And always good to go back home. Not the 514, the 416, but True North, strong and free, the Great White North. And then we'll be back on Monday. Monday's going to be fun. Chael P in studio on Monday. So that's always fun. You think he'll be as animated as Lou DiBella?
Yeah. I think it's going to be good stuff.
Yeah, for sure. And perhaps we'll have an answer to the Jake Paul opponent mystery. But most importantly, we'll be well on our way to UFC 322, which on paper is one of the best cards of the year. Can't wait to get into all of that and more. Malcolm Wellmaker will also be in studio on Tuesday, Georgia's own. So looking forward to that very much. Thank you, Lou DiBella. Thank you, Michael Chandler. Thank you, Gable Steveson. Thanks to all of you. Thanks to all of them. Back tomorrow, same time. Peace. I'm out of here.
Peace and love. Peace and love.